Hey survivors, Makeshift here with a special announcement before we start today's episode. Our Patch of the Month Club on Patreon has been very popular, and so we've been able to reduce the minimum support level to be a part of it down to $8, which includes shipping, so I'd say that's a pretty good deal. If you want to support this channel, along with Legends of Wasteland City and Makeshift Music, amongst the other things we do, consider signing up on our Patreon. You can set monthly maximums so you're never surprised by an extra charge, and you get early access to most of the things that we produce. And that goes for anyone, whether they're part of the patch program or not. So if you just want to support this content, jump on in. This month is actually sponsored by the Farlanders, who's today's guests, and so September's Patch of the Month is the Farlanders Even Unto Death patch. If you've been around their camp at night, you've probably heard their pledge, Even Unto Death, which binds each of their lives to the will of their fallen human deity, the Silverman, who's also been known to make appearances through the Farlanders' current warlord, Bridger. These patches should ship in time to arrive for Wasteland Weekend 2025, so join or upgrade today. All right, let's get to the episode. What happened?
We did this ourselves.
They're coming. It can't be.
Where is everyone?
Hello, survivors. Makeshift here with another episode of the Apocalypse Post. I hope you guys are having a good summer and getting ready for Wasteland. It's coming up really soon. So last episode, we talked to the Scam Bandits, and I brought back one of the members as a special co-host this week. Hello, Winks.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Excited to have you on again. Thanks for joining. And we're going to be talking to the Farlanders today.
Yeah.
Which you already know the Farlanders pretty well.
I do. I really love the Farlanders. They're very cool people.
What do you love about them specifically, as if they're not in the room listening to...
As if they're not in the room listening, I feel like they really bring their all to Wasteland, and they have some of the coolest costumes, I think, at the event.
That's really fun. You really put your hosting hat on because that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Sweet.
Yeah. So the Farlanders are some amazing customers. You're right about that. And they have a history in costume making that they bring to Wasteland. Historical costuming. We're going to get all the details. But when they walk around, they look regal. They look put together. Adept famously shows no skin, which is really fun. And part of that's her costume rule. And we're going to get more on that hopefully later. We'll find out why. And what else? Their camp is really well put together, and
Yes.
they base it all on storytelling.
Yes, very, very cool. So, some of the most interesting, I think, storytelling, and they get very into their lore, which I think is really cool. And I love to see when tribes get really into their lore. I think it's really cool.
It kind of next levels things because it's no longer just surface level art. Now it has meaning.
Yeah, it's grounded in a sort of reality that I feel like not every tribe gets into. My tribe is a lot more we're there for fun and games. My tribe, I've been a little more interested in the lore side of things, but they're not. Not everyone is. And so I think it's really cool when a tribe can come together and have some really cool lore and just some depth to their storytelling.
Yeah.
It's really neat.
And sometimes, the Scam Bandits are a newer tribe. You guys have been going for a handful of years. And the Farlanders a few years more than that. And I think that's something that kind of gets added over time.
Yeah, definitely.
You add a little bit of lore, and then someone comes in and says, oh, I got this story for my character, and that gets added in. And slowly you build that up.
Yeah.
And I think that's something the Farlanders did really well.
And I think the same thing happens with costuming. Every year you think a little bit more about who my character is. What are they wearing? Why did they wear it? And I think that's something the Farlanders do really well.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we introduce them so that they're not just in
listening
the room
to
listening to
us sing their praises?
All right, Farlanders, welcome back on the show for the nth time. It's always good to have you. Hello, Adept, a also former special host.
Hello. I'm excited to be back again. It's been a hot minute.
Awesome. And Bridger, how's it going?
I'm doing great. And if you guys want to just keep singing my praises, I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, no one's bad about it.
I feel like if I got praised this much on a regular basis, I could be whipped into shape by 2030 at least.
Yeah, if I've learned anything about Bridger Farlander, it's that he does like to hear how awesome he looks and how good a work he's done.
Don't cost nothing to praise people.
That is true.
That's true.
Yeah, and I am rich in the praises, so we will transfer some along the way as we go today.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Yeah. And it's really fun because Adept is literally working on costuming right now.
Yes.
Will you tell us a little bit about that?
Can you tell us?
What can you tell us?
Yes. What
right.
I can tell you is I'm currently frantically sewing for a very different vibe event that's happening right after Wasteland. It is called the Brandywine Festival, and if any of you out there are not only post-apocalyptic fans but also Tolkien fans, you're gonna lose your mind about it. It is a Hobbit LARP. I've never done a LARP before.
Like a full LARP.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no combat, so
Okay.
I guess it's like a festival LARP.
Oh, that's
fun.
fun.
It's a non-combat LARP.
Okay.
I guess I don't know anything about LARPs. I've never done a LARP before.
Do hobbits fight?
I mean, we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to lord up today. This is
Right.
about the wrong thing. So I am currently making clothes for that because I have nothing to wear for this.
I got invited to this party and I have nothing to wear.
That's not inaccurate. So I'm trying not to show up naked because that's one of the rules, and I would know what the rules are because I'm the one with two of my bestest friends in the whole wide world. So wrote the costume guide and are the costume advisor committee. So I can't go in and just look like a naked schlub.
Yeah, you gotta be looking good. And while you're scrambling, literally pinning raw fabric together and cutting it with the tiniest scissors I've ever seen in my life, I would be running.
Embroidery scissors.
They are in fact embroidery scissors.
Oh, fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I would be running to like thrift stores and going through old clothes because I mostly do Wasteland, but of course this is a little bit different. But you're literally making it by hand, and it looks like you're preparing to I don't know. Are you hand sewing this? Is that where we're going?
I am hand sewing this, but
Oh my
most
God.
of what I've done is hand sewing because since the costume guide is okay, I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. The costume guide, the whole aesthetic clothing wise for the Brandywine Festival is roughly the 18th century, merely because Tolkien himself describes the Shire as pre-industrial, and he talks about it being pre-industrial England, and so we decided 18th century. And since everything is 18th century based, it's just easier to sew it by hand because that's how the clothing was made. So it's better to just not reinvent the wheel.
Is that one of the festivals where your stitch pattern and the exact fabrics you're using comes into play?
No, not really.
Since it's
Sort of
fantasy, you can
take
kind of
that
get away
bit.
with
Yeah,
it.
there's a lot.
That's nice.
There's a lot more flexibility, and there are quite a few costume cosplays, which I'm very excited about. I love to see that people are putting stuff together that's thrifted. Not everybody's making their clothing, and we are so okay with that. Much like my opinions on Wasteland stuff. Not everything has to be. There is no one right way to do it. So I am multitasking while we do this podcast because I'm on a time crunch.
I love that. It's kind of perfect. Like we're just sitting here. What's it called? A stitch and bitch?
It is a stitch and bitch.
Yeah.
Well,
This is the
and
best kind.
What is a new event to attend if you're not making stuff? Y'all Wastelanders, y'all know.
Yeah.
You making stuff right up until the last dang minute.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Wasteland's tomorrow. I guess I better get started on my new outfit.
You gotta.
One
Yeah.
time I learned light leather working the day before I left for Wasteland. I drove 45
Amazing.
minutes to a leather store, said, hey, what do I need to make like a kind of shitty holster for a gun? And they sold me like half a piece of cowhide, and I dyed it and hand sewed it, and just like literally the night before I left.
Wow.
It's serious business though.
Unhinged of me, but I had a weapon and nowhere to put it. So I was like,
Whoa,
okay.
yeah. That's wild. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about, because I know from past conversations we've had, both Bridger and Adept, you guys were involved in period festivals. Specifically, what was it? Is it Civil War?
No, those people are crazy.
And the fashion is ugly.
And the fashion is horrendous, as I was informed by my wife. No, we did. So we've done a little bit of everything from French and Indian War era to Revolutionary War era, all the way up to the War of 1812.
Okay, so all the stuff we learned in middle school,
That you didn't pay
all
attention
those wars,
to.
yeah.
Yeah,
That I have
Revolutionary
no-
War, Rev War Part 2, basically.
Although I'm from New England and so is Wink, so Revolutionary War stuff was
Sure.
bottle fed to
Yes.
us before being pumped directly
We had
into
to
our veins.
go to Concord and Lexington and
Yeah.
just hang out there for school field
Nice.
trips
Yeah.
and stuff.
No big deal. So we were into that. As a matter of fact, that's how we met. No big deal.
It is.
What up,
that's
girls?
right.
Bunch of nerds.
And
Cute.
then of course, before that, I've just not ever had a hobby where it didn't involve me wearing a funny costume. Star Trek costumes. I was one of the founding, pioneering luminary lunatics that helped to start the Ghostbusters.
What was that look at them?
Ghostbusters, the use of the term luminary. Where was I? Yeah, so I helped to start the Ghostbusters franchise phase. Me and my friends had our own Ghostbusters franchise and turned it into a thing because I've not ever done anything that didn't turn into a giant stupid thing.
Wait, what does that mean? Like you were a local Ghostbusters office?
Like the way Subway works?
So, okay.
Did you buy it at a Subway?
Did you buy
Well,
Were you a
Sherman
Dunkin'
set the
Donuts?
Wayback Machine for 1997. Me and some friends, my friend Andy, when I was in college, he wanted to go for Halloween as a Ghostbuster. And so he and I and another one of our buddies went to Walmart because he read this. No, I'm sorry. He wanted to go as Boba Fett.
To a Ghostbusters thing? No.
He wanted to go as Boba Fett. That's how this story started. I forgot.
Okay.
Halloween, yes.
For Halloween, he wanted to go as Boba Fett. So he had read this thing online on early internet that you could do a real cheap, easy base if you got a gray Dickie coverall. And you could buy them at Walmart. So we went to Walmart, Andy and myself and our buddy. And he found there were 3 Dickie coveralls. It's fate. That's what's called fate, kids. And we happened, and I was like, well, this one's just my size. And Andy goes, well, this one's my size. And you see where this is going. And so we just, on a lark, we went and we all tried on Dickie coveralls. And we come out and we look at each other and we go, we look like the Ghostbusters. And then his costume changed. And we had a group costume, and we went as the Middle Tennessee Ghostbusters.
Oh, fun.
Because, this story is way too long. Sorry. Peter Venkman in the 1984 classic, as portrayed by Bill Murray, talks about how the franchise rights alone will make us rich beyond our wildest dreams. And so we decided, we'll just be a Ghostbusters franchise, just like they talk about in the movie.
Fun.
So because I've not ever done anything that didn't involve me going hard as a mother, we got our costumes. We had the name tags. We had the patches. There was a website where you could buy the patches. We made our own proton packs.
Oh, fun.
We made all our own kit and everything. And then for fun, because Andy and I are both graphic designers, we made invoices.
Cute.
So everywhere we went, we'd carry a clipboard and we could pass out invoices that had information on them.
Cool.
But it wasn't enough to just have that. Because again, this is me. And Andy was very much like me, whereas both of us were like lunatics. We made a website that looked like a legitimate business website.
Cool.
So it was hardcore. So anyway, all that's to say that other people saw what we were doing and started doing it in their own hometowns. We were the Middle Tennessee Ghostbusters. And then there came Southern California Ghostbusters and Michigan Ghostbusters, and they were all over the place. And it was because he went to go try to find a gray jumpsuit so he could be Boba Fett.
That's hilarious.
That's so fun.
I'm really glad we didn't let you gloss over that fun
Yeah,
fact.
no, that's really fun.
So then after that, if that weren't enough, I founded and ran the largest War of 1812 Napoleonic era Royal Navy unit in North America.
Wow.
And best dressed, I might add.
And best dressed. She's only a little bit biased. And so, yeah, I did that for a number of years. And we traveled all over the place. We got to go to Canada during all the War of 1812. Bicentennial stuff.
Oh,
It was
very
really cool. It was awesome.
Nice.
HMS Acosta, for those of you out there that...
Give a shit.
Well, I got called out at Wasteland by somebody
our
who knew
first
who I was
year.
that
Oh,
first
yeah.
year. They called me by my sailor name.
It was very
at
weird.
Last Chance Casino, somebody shouted out my sailor name,
That
and
is
I
hilarious.
was like,
what? You're like, where am I?
Wow.
Oh, this
yeah.
is not
happening?
right, because we had worked really hard to be Bridger and Adept. And to have somebody shout something else, I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
that ain't right. So anyway, all that's to say, I've never done anything that didn't involve wearing a funny outfit. And Wasteland was just the, you know, the
Here's
latest,
next fun thing to do.
the latest in a long line of
Yeah.
funny clothes.
Yeah.
It seemed like a natural evolution.
Yeah. And Adept, you're no stranger to like historical costuming. I mean, to me, you seem like a preeminent expert in the field, especially like 1700s and 1800s stuff. It just seems like you just know things.
Yeah, I used to, many moons ago, used to give lectures on women's fashion in the 18th and early 19th century. So like Rev War up to like War of 1812. I'd go all the way up to 1820. Because that's just my favorite era of clothing. Well, I mean, and it was also the only thing that was going on out here in terms of like, because just we're out here in Tennessee, so a lot of Revolutionary War stuff. So there really wasn't an excuse for
Or
me to
Civil
make.
War stuff here?
Yeah, but also hate Civil War.
Wait, so is Revolutionary War like kind of big here, or you guys were big into Revolutionary War here?
You know, weirdly, there was a lot of stuff that was happening out here.
Because this wasn't a state then.
No, Tennessee became a state in 1796.
96.
Stop it!
Well, yeah, and Robertson
Fun
County.
historical facts just dripping out of the Farlanders over here.
Right. We're full of useless information. But yeah, so but we would also travel like to different 18th century forts and you know,
Okay.
like houses and things like that in the
Yeah,
era.
sweet.
But I did a lot more early 19th century, like Jane Austen era stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would never refer to myself as an expert just merely because there's always something to learn and to continue to learn. And also I have really bad imposter syndrome. So
Yeah, well, that's what experts do, you know.
Yeah.
this is true.
To me, you're an expert.
Don't forget to tell them about Colonial Williamsburg.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I interned at Colonial Williamsburg one summer.
Oh,
Very
rad.
cool.
And just learned a whole bunch of stuff about 18th century dressmaking.
Yeah, that's a really cool place to go.
It's pretty cool.
It's fun. And like they've done a really good job of maintaining that city, and the historical area is just really fun.
Yeah, it's less fun when you work
it.
for them.
Yeah, it's kind of like
fair.
kind of like
'Cause-
working for a theme restaurant.
Or
You
like
just-
Disney World or something. Yeah.
Because then you learn.
You need to
about,
really love it.
Yeah.
you learn about everything that's going on behind the scenes, and you're like, ugh,
Yeah.
don't love that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
That's
it was still fun. I learned a lot, and so yeah, that is how we met. We were both doing funny ye olde costume
Yeah,
stuff.
that's awesome. And then I don't know if you want me to mention this, but you did a YouTube channel where you were kind of doing like cottagecore kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's called That Robert's House. If
I
anybody
didn't
wants to
know
check it out.
that.
Oh, it's super cute.
Yeah.
You gotta check it out.
It's been a
Hey, kids,
really,
don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
right. It's been a really
Ring
long
that
time since
bell.
I've updated.
I know.
I am lazy.
It was really cool. It was kind of like what do you call it when you listen to like sounds and just kind of relax into it?
ASMR.
Yeah,
It was
like,
a silent living or like quiet living. I didn't talk in any of them except for a couple like funny ones where like I would throw in something funny in there. But ironically, I don't like the sound of my own voice. So I didn't talk in my YouTube videos because you have to spend multiple hours editing it. And
Yes.
I don't,
Oh yeah, right.
yeah, I don't want to listen to that.
Yep. That's the painful part of podcasting.
Right?
Definitely.
Editing
So.
your own voice, listening to it for hours.
Yeah, but they were fun. They like it was a little bit like background action. Like you would do stuff like bake in the kitchen.
Yeah,
right?
I was baking, I was sewing, I was in the garden,
Yeah.
all that kind of
That
stuff.
was super cute.
Delightful.
Yeah. So if you want to throw something on in the background, watch someone kick ass at work from a long time ago, wearing stuff from a long time ago. That's the jam.
Sometimes I wear old stuff, not like historical stuff, but like I have like original late early 20th, late 19th century pieces that I would wear, like this really sweet late 19 teens house dress that I just love. So
I love it. All right, so we spent all that time talking about your past exploits in costuming so that people know you know a little bit about what you're talking about. But when it comes to Wasteland, it's kind of like a great equalizer, right? Like everyone can throw in their different expertise, get really creative, and kind of like break the rules. Talk to me a little bit about, and Winks, you can jump in on this too. Like, what do you love about Wasteland costuming, especially when you compare it to like costuming for historical stuff?
oh, the freedom for sure. It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's great. Being able to do something that isn't super strict. You know, you have to consider when you do historical stuff, you have to consider the fabrics you work with. You have to consider, you know, the shapes and styles that you're making.
Historical accuracy.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was one of the things I loved about being able to do Wasteland is I could just do whatever I wanted, which at the same time became a problem because when you're given too much freedom, you just get decision paralysis. You're I don't know what to do. So when we started the Farlanders, we had to create, I guess, some guidelines. You could call it that. Just so I could have something grounded in, something I can ground myself in.
A place to start.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would just be chaos, and I would have a hard time being able to put an outfit together. But it's so much different creativity, and you're kind of using different parts of your brain to be creative. I think that's my favorite part about Wasteland costuming for sure.
That's fun.
I love that you don't have to be as technical. I didn't do any historical stuff, but I was a cosplayer for a while, and I did a lot of video game characters, and I was quite a perfectionist. One time I taught myself how to do chainmail, and I sewed this 20-pound chainmail dress for a costume and stuff like that. And I would just constantly be this isn't good enough, you know? And I feel like Wasteland is a great opportunity to just care less about how you're doing something. And
that's so true.
The techniques you're using. And, there's nothing to directly, there's no character art to directly compare your homemade outfit to, which is really nice.
So I got to go to a Scam Bandits costuming workshop. Well, I wasn't really participating. I was just kind of hanging out.
Yeah.
And what was really fun is I watched a bunch of you guys just literally hitting your clothes with a hammer to distress it. And I was like, what is happening right now?
I learned that trick from the Farlanders.
What, really?
Yeah.
You learned that from Gimli.
I learned that from Gimli.
Fun. But yeah, there's a lot of distressing techniques that you would never use in anything else.
Yeah.
One of the things that comes up is literally tie your clothes to a rope on the back of your car and drive over gravel. And it works. You don't want to go too far with it because then you end up with a
weird
crotch.
hole.
Yeah. You don't want a crazy hole, but you do want to wear it out. But yeah, just weird distressing techniques that wouldn't work for anything else suddenly work for Wasteland
the
really
Scam
well.
Bandits do what I like to call our soup, which is just a big bin that we fill with coffee grounds and some Rit dye and dirt essentially, and then we just stir it with a stick that I found in my backyard.
Cackling witches.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But our clothes all smell like coffee, so that's nice.
Totally.
That is good.
Yeah. And you can recycle different materials. You can use stuff that has been hiding in your basement or in your garage that has never really had a good purpose, and you can repurpose it for something else. I remember when you watch Waterworld, and I forget his name, but he's one of the smokers. He's one of the lieutenants, and he's got the nasal cannula, the breathing thing, just in his nose. It's not doing anything. It's just there because they think, oh, it fits here. It must have been decorative or something.
Yeah.
And so they stick it there. The ski boots that one of the guys throws on as if it was a functional armored boot. Yeah. And it's just that's completely impractical, but it kind of works. And then of course we saw it in Mad Max with Morton Joe's respirator is what the hell is that? It's a bellows.
So cool. Yeah, don't wear ski boots to Wasteland.
Yeah, don't. You'll hate your life for sure. Probably end up with a broken shin at some point.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then of course you can story tell through your costuming, which is something we're going to get into.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things I really wanted to get into with you guys is Wasteland has this kind of easy way in that we call Wasteland Basic. It's been there since the very beginning, and it goes for newbies. It goes for people that just need a lighter day off of putting on their full regalia. And I've even seen staff wear it on their busier days.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit about what Wasteland Basic is, and I'm gonna throw this to you, Bridger.
I wouldn't know because I don't. I'm not even kidding. I don't know what basic is. No, what is basic? Do we know what is? Is it t-shirt and shorts? I don't.
Listen. Describe your Wasteland Basic, because everybody has a different version. But
that's true.
I can give you my
what is
version
Wasteland Basic
of it.
to you?
So my Wasteland Basic is.
And you have my permission to be catty.
I wasn't going to seek your permission. Y'all get ready. I am the designated bad cop of this podcast, so I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings. No, in all seriousness, it's for me. It's one of a couple of garments. It's either like a ratty T-shirt that's, it's got some wear and it's got some color. And I don't mean it's natural, original color. I mean, it's something that we've dyed to be grubby, to look grubby.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about how the Farlanders do that here in a minute.
Cool.
Or it's, oh baby, what do you call that shirt? The long
Raglan? No. The thermals.
Yeah, it's like a thermal. And as I recall, Tom Hardy wears a thermal in Fury Road, and you can see it underneath his stuff. And I think if I remember, he talks about how it almost looks like chainmail visually, just the texture.
Because it's like 1/4-inch squares in the texture or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a big knit, and it's a good looking shirt. So for me, basic is short sleeve tee that's been modified, a long awkward pause while I try to remember what the thing is called again. It's the thermal that has also been modified, and a comfortable pair of pants that so I have a pair of kind of khaki colored. They were originally khaki colored. I think I got them from Target. They were like Goodfellow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was like a pair of kind of khaki colored denim pants, long pants that I really liked. And I was like, God, these are so comfortable. If I could wear this at Wasteland. And then I did. I think I have 2 separate pairs of that exact same pant that I've modified so that I can wear. And it's just super basic. And then like an old brown belt that, just to keep stuff up. I wouldn't want to wear that, all the time at Wasteland because, I portray a big highfalutin gasoline warlord. So that's not necessarily the image I'm trying to, but to have that stuff on underneath things and to know that, when I'm hot and sweaty, I can snatch off the big, heavy, ornate layers and be down and still be in something that is event appropriate. That's not going to be like, people looking at me going, why is that idiot dressed like a normal person?
Well, it's about layering too, because even with that, even when you're still basic, you do add some extra pieces that kind of disguise the normality of what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Like we have that big piece of dyed jersey that, God, we've had since our first year that just keeps getting recycled into various things.
You read my mind. Yeah.
I mean, it's part of Adept's outfit, like the skirt. But it's, you'll wrap that around your waist to kind of make like a sash, or you'll wrap around your head to kind of protect it and things like that. So you can do basic. It's like basic, slightly less basic.
Basic plus.
Yeah, basic plus.
Yeah.
And then you can go up from there. But even just taking that, kind of elevates just a basic like jeans and a t-shirt, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So I was just looking back on the website to see how they describe Wasteland Basic and if there is like a specific way that they say it. And they don't really, define it too well. But what they do show is a couple of examples. So you can jump on Wasteland Weekend, look at their style guide, and there is some really nice pictures of Wasteland Basic. And one of them is totally a thermal with some black pants that's just dirtied up, got a couple of stains, a couple holes. Another one is like a camo vest over a halter top. This is on more of a femme kind of a look, with some camo shorts, some broken fishnet leggings, and then some dirty sneaks. And then there's another shirt that's like a white button down that's like, stained, kind of looks like blood on it. So that's like kind of their idea. Is just take some simple clothes, stain them up, dirty them, tear them up. And you can get away with that, and you can probably put that together in a half hour with the tools you get at home, which is really great.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's like two definitions of Wasteland Basic. There's like your basic, which is like, what you're kind of wearing under your costumes, like your base layer, like literally like what you're wearing around hanging out in camp, right, with your tribe. And then there's Wasteland Basic for like, if you're a newbie or if you're just someone who wants to like go to a food truck and get yourself lunch and you don't want to wear all your heavy gear, you can just kind of throw on something that's still in theme, but is pretty just like, like your base layers and just kind of like a little less dramatic than maybe your full outfit.
Yeah. And I've seen it defined on site, and especially amongst build crew, because a lot of build crew will wear like Wasteland Basic while they're building, which is basically like a ratty old t-shirt that's, you know, pretty worn down, and then like cargo shorts, which can get you by in a crowd.
Yeah.
It can get you by.
I have thoughts.
Yeah. But ultimately, like, we want to amp that up. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of talk about how do we amp up, and I know that we're a half hour into this episode and just getting to why we're here. But how do we amp up Wasteland Basic, and some guidelines on, you know, what to do as we're starting to level up.
Yeah, level up their costumes.
Yeah. Perfect. So the first thing I want to talk about is like, Wasteland is a really hard environment. So we have to think a little bit practically about our costuming, right? So what are some initial concerns that we might have when we're thinking about what to don in the wastes?
Well, that was one of the very first things we thought about too. And I guess just coming from a lifetime of experience of being in events in really hot conditions, the more you can find natural fibers to combat the heat, the better you're going to do. I mean, polyesters breathe. Ask me about my rubber pants one day. Everybody loved those pants, but let me tell you what, I did not love wearing them in the heat of the day. They ended up disintegrating. So R.I.P. Adept's original pants.
Day.
It was a very dark day. But they didn't breathe. Like, I would take them off and it would just be drenched.
Yep. I have some shorts like that I'm just like, I can wear them for like 3 hours tops, and then I'm like, I have to change.
It's like, they look so good and I'm so miserable.
So miserable. Yeah. So sweaty.
But it's like, yeah, you have to consider the heat, which is like one of the biggest factors. And it goes against everybody's instinct, but the reason Adept is completely covered, well, one of the reasons Adept is completely covered is because I would prefer not to get a sunburn, and it is actually, it'll keep you more cool. If of course you are wearing natural fibers.
Yeah, if you see photos of people that actually live in a desert environment, very rarely do you see skin showing.
Exposed skin, yeah.
What you'll see is loose-fitting, natural fibers that breathe, that let air pass through them so that they can be cooling while protecting your full body skin from the direct sun.
I love protecting my full body skin.
My full body skin.
Did I say that weird?
As opposed to my not full body skin.
My partial body skin.
As opposed to the skin that I definitely don't have in my closet or anything like that. But combating the heat is one of those most important things that you can do. And, you know, your costuming, even your basic, can really, I think, help that.
Yeah, and it's kind of wild because like a thermal, which keeps you really warm in the winter, can actually, it does breathe really well. And they are made to moisture wick, which is nice.
I mean, even wool, like you might think like wool is something for cold weather.
But they make tropical weight wool, boys and girls.
Even wool is really
Did
great
you say
for stuff
tropical?
like that.
Tropical
weight wool.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Thank you, War of 1812.
It's
So Royal Naval uniforms.
Yeah.
Royal Naval uniforms, they would have what they called their tropical weight. And it's this real thin. As a matter of fact, you can still purchase it. It's the same Navy wool, tropical weight, that is worn by the New York Police Department.
Oh, wow.
For a lot of, we bought the same stuff for our coats because most of our events took place in Kentucky in July. When you're wearing a wool coat and sweating like you've been digging a damn ditch all day. And it gets funky. So you want that tropical weight thin, but it really does help. I'm not saying you're not going to be warm. But
I mean, you're going to be warm in anything. You reach a point where you're just going to be hot.
You'd rather just be hot and, you know, protected from the sun.
Exactly.
Well, and speaking of protection, the long pants and boots, that's a great way. Look, I love tennis shoes. Don't get me wrong. But boots and long pants, if you've ever been to Wasteland, you know there's prickly stuff out there. There's people's camps that can sometimes have things on it that are not friendly to bare legs.
Right.
There are critters, and you just want that little bit of extra protection because I have no desire to go home all torn up from the ankles to the knees. And, you know, just a pair of long pants is going to go a long way toward, you know, that sort of protection.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we've talked a lot on this show about how the days are hot, the nights are cold. So being able to layer easily is great. And you want each of those layers to still be in theme.
Yes.
So, that thermal that you have underneath as like a bottom layer under a vest, under a jacket, you still want to be able to take that vest and jacket off and look the part. And definitely like being prepared for cold because it doesn't get cold every year.
Oof, but on the years it gets
Yeah.
cold, you will be like, I 100% recommend, especially if you're a newbie, like get a winter jacket and waste it and bring it to Wasteland just in case, because I used to wear like this cropped bomber jacket and that was like the heaviest layer I had. And a couple of years ago, there was this like, it was so freezing
23.
cold.
It was the year that we fought.
It was freezing
It was
cold.
so cold.
Yeah. And I was miserable at night. I was calling it early every night because I just like, my stomach was out. And it was so cold.
Oh, yeah.
And so I invested in a long parka
Yeah.
that I now wear. Of course, last year it was so hot. You didn't need it. It was beautiful at night. But you never know what the weather is going to be like. And it's better to be more prepared than less.
Yeah, we know the averages. Generally, it'll be in the 90s during the day. It'll drop down to the 60s and 70s at night. But think of that plus like a 10 to 20 degree swing where we have been over 100 during the day. Yeah. And we've definitely been down maybe into the upper 40s on the coldest day.
Yeah, I want to say, that night it was freezing. That Saturday night was so cold.
And when it kisses like in the 50s, you're already walking around like, I need to get to a camp. I need to find a fire.
I need a fire.
Yeah. There's something to be said about that kind of cold. It's different.
Yeah, and literally like gloves come in handy. Like something around your neck, like literally a scarf or something. Can be
a
awesome.
blanket also.
Yeah,
if you can't bring a big parka, because sometimes that can be, especially if you're flying or traveling long distances.
That's like half my suitcase.
A good blanket, and a blanket is real easy to wasteland enough to make it look like, oh, that was a garment and not just something that you're sleeping with.
Totally.
We've got several of those, and if you throw them over your shoulders, you look downright regal.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
Especially at night when you can get away with like, you got a little bit more leeway as far as what your costume exactly looks like.
Yeah.
And there's definitely been nights when I see people pull out their like street jacket just because it got that cold.
Right.
Like, now it's down to survival, right?
Yeah.
But that's why we want to come prepared so that even on the coldest night or the hottest day, we still look like we're in theme. Because not my immersion.
My immersion.
I do want to judge people a little bit sometimes, but then I do have to also remember, it's like 45 degrees and not everybody's dope as hell and makes a coat out of a moving blanket. So
right.
There's that.
Yeah. And honestly, when it comes down to it, if you do show up and you're not well prepared, like ask people who you camp with, because everyone's got extra stuff.
Well, and on top of that, I'm about to go dad mode. Kids, don't get yourself in trouble out there. Y'all, if you ain't got something themed and you didn't bring a winter coat, talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
Wastelanders are generally really friendly, kind people. And if they can give you the hookup, they'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
If they see that, oh, bless her heart, her midriff's turning blue, they'll be like, hey, let me get you a hot cocoa and a couple blankets, honey.
Yes.
Listen, Adept always has extra clothes. I always pack more clothes than there are days of the event. So.
She does have more clothes than anyone I know.
Can't
for
hurt.
every occasion.
You never know what you feel like you want to wear that day.
Totally.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That is exactly it.
Yeah,
right
you kind of want to look through your Wasteland wardrobe, just like you look at your wardrobe at home, and just like, how am I feeling today?
Yeah, what do I want to wear?
Yeah.
So true.
And that makes it super fun.
Totally. And that's something that you build over time too. And you might show up with one costume.
Yeah.
I had one costume for years that I would just wear day after day after day. And it's only in the last few years that I've finally started having like different looks that I play with, and a different pair of pants to wear on different days.
That aren't disintegrating.
Yeah, I always look
luxury.
like, yeah, I know, it's nice. But yeah, I also have like that tub of old costumes that I just don't wear anymore, but I they're still with my stuff. And there's been cold nights when it's just like I'm handing out vests left and right because someone just needs a little extra something. Another thing to think about is you do need to carry stuff, especially if you're living in Tent City and you're not in the theme zone, and you're going to be walking around. You're going to want to carry some water, sun protection. You're going to want those good shoes for walking around on the rocky soil areas. And you might even want to throw a couple snacks in your pockets. right? So
Yeah.
having the ability to carry extra things.
Yeah, especially the water.
Yeah.
Water is
Have a
vitally
canteen.
important. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
Have
you
a
can
canteen.
Incorporate
sling
it into your costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, either put it on your belt or sling it over your shoulder or something. Just as, you don't want to have your hands full the whole time. Those dang pouches, man. Everybody sells them, and I at first was like, man, everybody just uses them. Well, now I know why.
What pouches?
They're genius. They're like the military kind of pouches that you see.
Like on belts. and
Yeah,
stuff.
like
Oh,
the
yeah.
belt pouches. That's the word I want.
Yeah, because you can just literally you can buy like a light brown plastic like Nalgene canteen and just like get one of those like pouches for it, waste that up, and that way you just have a canteen you can run through the dishwasher when you get home, but no
Totally.
one can see it. Just
Yeah.
like having it in a themed item or carrying capacity of some kind.
We
Yeah,
got
just
what did
wrap
we
it
get?
up.
We got some old Boy Scout canteens.
Yeah, mine's an
Oh, that's
old.
fun.
Mine's
that
an
are
old one.
like 60s, 70s. They've already look like they've got run under a truck,
Oh yeah.
and they're real easy to keep clean.
That's great. If you do find some historical stuff, just check what they're made out of, because
Oh, boy,
100%,
yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes you find in like old Army Navy stores some
Yeah,
stuff that just
was
is
my
not,
first one.
not safe.
Yeah,
Not safe to use.
I like had it for a few years. First of all, the cap didn't even screw closed. It just like popped in and out, so I'd spill it constantly. It was round, so I couldn't like put it down. It was very inconvenient, but it looked cool,
That's
Right.
what
So
matters.
go for practicality if you can.
Yeah.
It's a little lead poisoning between friends.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fine.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. Is there was a time when lead was allowed in things.
Yep.
Before we knew, neurological problems.
Yeah. Also, maybe don't drink out of something that you bought on eBay that says it's like a used like Soviet war
Yeah.
canteen.
I can see how that could go south on you. yeah.
Totally. Yeah. That's really fun. And yeah, if you can theme out like a backpack or a messenger bag, Army Navy stores do have different like military backpacks that will easily fit right in. That can be really handy just to carry a few things with you, which is great. But also at the same time, you don't want to carry more than you need, because all that extra weight will kind of ruin your day over time.
You'll learn that really fast
Yeah.
if it's your first time and you're like, oh, I have all these great accessories for my costume.
Yeah.
Even if you feel like it's still basic, you're like, oh, my accessories. I'm like, listen.
Yeah.
You're gonna hike all the way into the city and you're gonna get there and just be like, I'm so tired of carrying this shit around. And then you're gonna have to hike all the way back.
Right.
Also,
With your
wear
40 pounds of
comfy.
gear.
Wear comfy shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're like a professional heel wearer, I would not recommend, especially if it's your first year, maybe don't bring your giant heeled boots unless you're really, really, really confident you can walk on bumpy ground for hours in them.
You got them strong ankles.
Yeah, that or you're stronger than me, like because I have given up on my heeled boots at this point in my Wasteland career.
Who's gonna wear heeled boots?
I don't need the
Wasteland.
shade that I can
Some
feel your
people do.
casting on me right now.
Some sort of monster.
Who would do that?
I only wear that for a Deb's full dress, okay?
Yeah, that's so
I'm
fair.
girl, I
fun.
know.
That's so fair. You're allowed. You're
then-
stronger than me.
And
That's
then in
what
the
they
same
think of.
world for the footwear, break them in before you get there.
Yes.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
I've seen
Don't
quite a
wear
few
new
people,
boots.
get some Army Navy boots, and sure they're broken in to someone else's feet, but all of your boots should be broken in. You should wear them for a good amount of time before you get out there.
Yeah, you don't
Wear
want to
them
end
for
up with a
while.
blister because then Shrike the mom friend
God.
is fussing at
That's
Yeah,
funny.
the dolls kill boots you just bought, they are not made to be walked in the
Yeah.
desert for several miles a day. So yeah, definitely at the very least break them in.
Totally. And then the last thing I want to kind of bring up as far as practicality is, armor looks cool. And you might want to wear it for picture time or during the day when you're, providing a service in costume, but you're not going to want metal shards sticking off your shoulders at all times. License plates are very commonly used.
Sweet sassy molasses.
Yeah, and depending on how you wear them, they could, cut into your own skin or someone else's. So make sure you're thinking about how's this going to be used? Am I able to give someone hugs while I wear this armor?
Important.
Yeah.
Important to consider.
Yeah.
The most important.
I
We ain't
have
trying
hugged
to put
so many
nobody's eye
people
out.
and gotten their shoulder spikes in my face or into my arm. And it's like, oh, did you make this yourself? Because it hurts. And now no more hugs for you.
You've got the embargo, but also you got to think about too that if you use real metal on your armor,
hot.
it gets hot. Yeah,
Yeah. For
Especially
sure.
on bare skin. Just don't do it.
yeah. My
No
crowd
ch-
gets hot.
Yeah, no chainmail bikini tops. You will regret your life.
Oh,
Don't do
yeah.
it. Just don't do it.
My nip noops hurt in sympathy.
My boobs hurt.
Is that from experience?
No, I just assume. As someone who's done chainmail before, I can't imagine wearing it in the desert. My D rings get hot enough.
Yeah. And how many people do I know? It's several that like, you know, they'll bring that full armor one year and try to go all day wearing it, and then they'll be like, I should have brought like some light stuff.
Wish I'd brought a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Even just one.
Because just carrying the weight of metal, and you know, metal looks really cool.
Sure,
but real
agree.
metal weighs a lot, and it gets to be a
And
lot.
it's not super. It's just not practical.
Yeah.
It's just not. So if here's my 2 cents worth on this, and that is, so a lot of what we do, and we'll be talking about this in a little while. A lot of what we do costume wise and clothing wise is based around story and character. So the story of Wasteland, as I understood it, or at least as it was many moons ago, was that this great gathering of tribes and clans and gangs and whatnot operates under there's a big truce,
Right.
while everybody comes together. So if I'm there under a truce, why would I be there in my full freaking suit of knight armor from head to toe? I'm not worried somebody's going to take a pot shot at me or take a swing at me with a sword.
Right.
So I might have it pared down.
Because you still want the pageantry, because
Sure.
as our beloved Bicky Bang Bang says, it's nothing without pageantry.
Agreed.
But it
Mickey
doesn't
Bang Bang
need
of
to
the
be.
Skulldugers, yep.
Yes, it doesn't need to be. You know,
Yeah.
I need to protect myself from a bomb blast.
If you're wearing we're not protecting ourselves from machine gun fire or people swinging swords at us.
Yeah.
We're there. It's pageantry. We're there under a treaty. So we're there dressed to impress, but not necessarily dressed to go into combat.
Right.
Yeah. That's
Like
a good point.
if we were there going into a war, I'm going to dress completely different than if this is a treaty thing where I'm there to, you know, meet up with my other fellow Wasteland noble allies and, you know, maybe garner some wheeling and doing some wheeling and dealing, but I'm not fighting anybody.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah. But we'll talk about clothing
versus character.
meet your character.
Speaking of which, do we want to move on to
Yeah,
thinking practically in character?
Absolutely. All right. So we talked about like real world practicality. And still kind of glossed over it, but there's always more. But yeah, let's go into more of like in character kind of stuff, because still like there's practicality for our apocalyptic survivor characters, right?
Correct.
Where should we start with that?
You know, you could start from the inside out, because even doing with your Wasteland Basic, you also have to consider, okay, well, I'm going to do Wasteland Basic. And this is, of course, if you're the kind of person that comes to Wasteland and wants to do, you know, something like a character. Not everybody does, and that's totally cool. You do you, boo-boo. There is no judgment. But for those of you that kind of do want to come and treat it like an in-character sort of situation, you want to think about what your character does. Who are they in the apocalypse? What is their job, as it were? And what are their ideals? Because that's really going to impact what you wear and how you wear it. So, you know, you would think about those factors first and then build your costume around it. So inside out, not only with what you're wearing, but with your this person that you're creating. So, you know, we did a lot of that with Adept, with a lot of the lore. You know, kind of influences what she wears and some of the interesting pieces that she wears. You know, like I've got one specific glove for one hand for shooting, and then I have the knee pad on one specific knee because that's the one I'm going to kneel on when I am shooting.
That's awesome.
And we tested it too, because he said, okay, so if you were about to drop to a knee right now, which one would it be? And so we tested it. I dropped to a knee really quick without thinking. We're like, that's the one that it goes on.
Cool.
So, you know, little things like that just really help to kind of, you know, and if like I said, if you are a person that creates a character and it's your first year and you don't know where to start in terms of costuming, well, start with that. Create a little lore about this person that you're gonna be at this event, and it will help guide you for sure.
Yeah, like so much of your outfit's going to create itself if you just give some thought to like who you are supposed to be, what type of, even if you aren't going to role play, just think about like what sort of character am I trying to portray. Like, are you a fast-moving raider who has to travel light and hide your identity? Are you a blackfinger who's greasy all the time and you carry all your own tools?
Right.
Are you a gun for hire? Are you a member of a cult whose robes are emblazoned with the symbols of your beliefs and stuff? A lot of that, if you just give a little thought to who you're supposed to represent on the front end, it's going to make putting together your outfit easier in the long run. Your clothing should tell, by the way, this is straight from the Farlander propaganda. Your clothing should tell the story of who you are as a Farlander. If I can't look at you and figure out, like, well, and this is just for generic folk.
Yeah.
If I can't look at you and kind of get a feel, like, you're just some generic Joe Blow, but like, it's so satisfying to be able to look at somebody and go, that gal's royalty.
Yeah.
That guy is a peddler. That guy is, you know, a wretched character who's meant to, you know, just like you can look at a war boy and identify who they are. I want to be able to look at somebody and go, oh, that guy's he's a cultist. He's a this, you're a that, you're a so-and-so. And it's that same way. Oh, there's some black thumbs. Here they come. They've got their tools and they're filthy and they, you know, they look like they were born underneath a greasy, you know, engine block. Just giving some thought to that. And you don't even have to, like, do a funny voice or play a character. It's, you know, just give some thought to it. And then you've got that look, you know.
By that same token, you can take that too far. One of the things we always talk about, you know, when it comes to, this doesn't really apply for Wasteland, but in a way it can. When doing historical stuff, it's really important, especially if you're doing something for the public and like in a teaching capacity, you need to do the rule and don't do the exception to the rule. Just because it existed doesn't mean you should do it. So by that same token, if you have to explain to me for 30 minutes why your character does X, Y, and Z, that's probably taking it too far. Because you don't want to look at something and just be like, why? That's crazy, you know. If you're trying to do something that's a little bit off the wall in terms of like what Wasteland theming.
I have an example. Can I give an example?
Okay, give an example.
What do you got?
So if I come up to you and you're dressed like Wasteland Captain America from the Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
And I come up and I'm like, bro, what do you know? Oh, so my character was, probably shouldn't do a voice. It's probably hurtful. But I'm going to do it anyway because it's fun. So my character, when the bombs fell, I owned a comic book store and I was a really big fan of the MCU and Captain America. So I took that opportunity to, dude, no, you've already, number one, you should not be there as dressed as Wasteland Captain America for a number of reasons. And of which I will not go into. And secondly, if you have to spend I don't need to, that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have you explain it to me for 45 minutes as to why you're doing this thing that's not appropriate for the event.
Yeah.
Like, we've had all manner of characters, and I'm not going to name any of them because I could name them and people would go, I remember that year. I remember those people. I remember that guy. Oh God, there's a couple I'd really like to talk about, but they're just not appropriate. Like, don't show up in Wasteland Star Wars Stormtrooper armor. That's not
Wasteland
appropriate.
IP.
That's not
exactly.
That's not appropriate for what we're doing. Even if you've come up with a really clever story. Oh, I was a member of the 501st when the bombs dropped and my armor fused to my... No. Don't do
I
it.
love the enthusiasm.
Right. Bring an original character, man. Bring or something that's, you know, appropriate to the Mad Max films on which this thing that we're all doing that we love is based.
Yeah. I feel like if you have to justify your costume in some way, maybe think through it a little more.
Maybe don't.
Yeah. Maybe consider something a little different.
Have you considered not?
Well, and I know the event encourages original. They want your original characters.
It's not a cosplay event.
It's you know.
Yeah, there's a handful of people that will cosplay specific Mad Max characters. We've had some people cosplay Fallout characters, which there are some caveats to Fallout. You can find them all on the website. We don't have to go all into them, but it has to be like kind of rooted in nonfiction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it
they're
has
looking
to-
for the more realistic.
Yeah.
We don't want the monsters. We don't want,
No
the
aliens.
armor,
Yeah.
no aliens.
No power
We've had
armor.
one ghoul ever, and I think that's enough.
Yeah.
It loses some of its impressiveness if there's multiple.
Yeah, if you got 47 ghouls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's something also to think about, right? Is if you're basing it on something that exists, chances are someone's already done it, or you might run into someone who's doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
it kind of loses its fun, its novelty if there's like a bunch of Wasteland Batmans running around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea of including the Fallout universe at Wasteland has been good and bad. But
To be sure.
But the Fallout games are famous for like you put on this costume and it gives you like +3 charisma or something, and some of those costumes are a little bit out of place,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, because Fallout's like cartoony, it's
Yeah.
fun, it's a little different tone than like Mad Max, right?
Exactly. Yep. But yeah, what the stuff that works from Fallout is the stuff from Fallout that would work in Mad Max.
Yeah,
Where-
if there's like an aesthetic crossover.
Like the Raider costumes look awesome. The
Totally
Survivor
rad.
costumes look awesome.
Yeah, they frequently are really cool.
Yeah. And honestly, Vault Dweller works if you've been out of the vault for a while.
More than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Don't come out with the fresh vault stuff that looks too clean, too blue, too yellow. It sticks out a little bit too much.
So much.
And unless you want all Wastelanders looking at you being like, hey, Vault Dweller,
Yeah, you will get roasted on.
you will get roasted.
And if
Come see me, I'll roast you.
But honestly, they look.
essentially.
It is really fun to see the Vault Dweller costumes as long as they look like they've been out for a little while. I think they
Sure,
look great.
yeah, no, I
Because
don't,
Yeah,
have
good
any,
you
looking.
can make them your own.
I don't
You
have
can make
any
them
problem
unique.
with that.
Yeah.
I mean, now, on the flip side of that coin, why would I wear a jumpsuit that tight? And I mean, it's not, surely to God, that's not made out of natural materials.
No, that's not
That
bad.
poor
yeah.
bugger's got to be sweating his ass off. Like, does he hate himself? I just find a change of clothes, buddy.
As someone who's been a Vault Dweller for Halloween, I know that those suits do not breathe, and
Yeah.
they keep you quite warm.
spicy.
And they don't hide anything.
Yeah. Something else I wanted to mention, you were talking about like being able to know what job someone does by their costume.
Yeah.
I think it's really great. And if you have a tribe, for the tribe to be identifiable, and maybe that might be like your theme colors. The Dukes have done like red and orange over our kind of typical camo greens. And we come out of like a Vietnam, Korea era, like jungle greens camo. So
Yeah.
the years where I tried to get into sand, because I was like, oh, the camo would work better in the desert if it looked sand, didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I kind of like fell back into the jungle look. And so, yeah, having your tribe be able to like, oh, these guys belong with this tribe. Because when you think about like Mad Max, we know these different factions. We know the Wretched versus
The Citadel.
the Citadel that live up there. And yeah, like War Boys, we know right away, instantly.
Sure.
And by the way, I didn't realize this until I was thinking about this episode. The War Boys go shirtless and dust themselves for sun protection because they're expendable. They don't
Yes.
wear armor
Right.
Yeah.
because they're meant to die.
Right.
And if they wore armor, that would show that they're afraid to die. But because the whole shtick is they are suicide bombers,
They are the pawns of the immortal.
they wear no armor. And I didn't even think of that before. I thought they just looked badass. But
Well, I mean, they do.
Porque no los dos.
They do.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
but it's also one of the reasons they don't really have like very distinguished. Yeah, it's like you always can pick them out. But I mean, really, if you think about their costumes, what are they wearing?
they're wearing cargo pants and boots.
Big black
Precisely.
pants, yeah.
We're not
Yeah.
going to spend all this time, outfitting them in something really elaborate.
When we're about to
Right.
send them out to get killed,
Right.
blown up.
Yeah.
and whatnot.
essentially.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also you were talking about stuff having identifiable iconography is also really good. Like one of the things we do as Farlanders is everybody wears the icon of the Silverman on their person, and we've just written it into the lore that
Yeah.
to have an icon of the Silverman is to invoke his blessing and protection, and also it makes you more identifiable.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even unto death. Yeah.
Even unto
Even
death, no
unto
big
death.
deal.
We have like the Farlanders have a tribe-wide aesthetic color scheme. Like we made an entire costume guide.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
can I
so
read you a
cool.
couple?
Oh, yeah,
'Cause-
Yeah, please.
Yeah, here you go. I've got it called up right here. So the color of the Farland is brown because if the world all kind of looks like Wasteland does and is generally kind of deserty and brown and dead, then brown makes sense. Can you have other colors? Yes. but the dominant color of the Farland should be shades of brown. Black exists. It's just, we just have decided it's not terribly practical in the desert sun. If you've worn black out there, you know, it soaks up the rays.
And I'm not going to lie, we chose that when we first started too, because everybody does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, black's very common.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would almost want to say Wasteland has been lightening over the years as people get more practical, but also move away from like the Mad Max,
like the leather stuff.
Yeah, the leather daddy stuff.
The leather daddy stuff.
Leather daddy stuff. Yeah.
Leather daddy. What?
Which, by the way, I meant to ask this earlier when we were talking about the practicality of natural fibers. Has anyone worn leather out there?
So
imagine it would be pretty
my
sweaty,
original
but
coat
does it work?
was, what was it? It's kind of a suede-y.
It was rough out leather.
Yeah, it was rough out leather. And it was thin. And I got it purposely because it was thin. And it shielded me from the sun. And you know, it wasn't terrible. Now, it wasn't that real thick, heavy, like black motorcycle leather jacket-y stuff. It probably has a name that I don't know. Everybody's screaming at me right now. It's called this. You idiot, you plebe. But yeah, I had that real thin leather, and it worked great my first year. It was really, and I wore that coat until I ruined it, and then we cut it to pieces, and now I wear parts of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Which is
the parts that I
a
can
very
salvage.
appropriate thing to do.
Yeah,
very practical.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And honestly, like motorcycle jackets usually have zippable vents that can actually be really helpful. So they're kind of made to breathe, but they're made to breathe at 40 miles an hour,
not standing in
still.
Yeah,
the
standing still
100
in the
degree
desert.
sun.
Yeah.
So brown is the predominant color.
Brown is our color. We don't do camo because the story with our people, from the Farlander mythos, we're just regular people that survived either the end or were born into the world after, just normal people who had to learn how to survive in the newly wasted landscape. We're not ex-military. We're not like, special forces, chemically altered super soldiers or mutants or monsters that crawled out of a vault. We're just regular Joe Blow. Bridger was a dude that worked at a company until things got so bad that they had to flee the city. I mean, that's just, and my idea is that Bridger was an artist at a company, like he did graphic design at a company until, the end came along, and then it was like, oh no. And he and the people that he worked with fled the city because it was the only option. They went into work one day and they were like, oh, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
This is bad. So I'm just a regular dude that got lucky. And so I wear regular clothes. I don't wear any kind of military paraphernalia or anything, because I'm just basically, when we created the Farlanders, I looked at my own life and kind of ran it along parallel with kind of a loose Mad Max movie timeline and was like, okay, where would I have been at that point?
Yeah.
Where would I have been at that point? And so that's kind of where I came up with what I do.
Nice.
And how I do it. And that, coupled with the aesthetic of the movies and the aesthetic of the grossly underrated Mad Max video game.
Oh, so good.
Oh, God bless America. It's so good.
And now,
God bless America.
and now 10
that
years
Mad Max
old.
video game.
Jump into
Is it
husband
10 years
house.
old?
It is.
20
Yeah, that
years.
was the
Just
whole
like-
reason you bought a dang PlayStation 4.
Oh, it's the only reason I bought a
Incredible.
PlayStation 4 was
Wow.
because I watched the game online and went, I need to be playing this game.
Such a good game.
Like immediately. So I went out and bought it and a PlayStation 4 and came home and just tore it up.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, if you've been to the Farlanders camp and you've played that game, you will recognize things from the game because we looked at camps in the game and went, we want to do that. Our shade structure in the front, the main entry, we've got the water collector with the blue tarp.
Yeah.
Shout out Crybaby.
Shout
the
out
one
Crybaby
who,
who did all of that
who's
stuff.
done
'cause
all of this.
He's a
Hell
friggin'
yeah.
rock star. We've got the gas cans. We paint them red and put the white X on them. Just don't come by and shoot them because there's nothing in them. We've done all of that stuff. And so every time we create something new, we're like, okay, how can we make this look like the stuff from the game? Because
there was some really cool art direction in that game.
oh yeah,
And really
It's-
cool
it's
world
solid.
building.
Solid. What was I talking about?
You were reading stuff.
Oh yeah, so no, we don't,
costume
so all
guides.
that was to say we don't do camo because we're not like ex-military stuff. We don't really do real world corporate logos on clothing. Really, the only logos I want to see and symbols are those that appear from the movie series, like Seven Sisters, Immortan Joe's symbol, Dinky Dice stuff. Those are examples of things that I'm like, yes, those are things from in-world that I'm totally okay with. Like, don't show up in your Coca-Cola. And I'm not saying there wasn't Coca-Cola. I'm not saying that Mad Max never drank a Coke before the world fell. But like, I think as we got farther away from the fall of civilization, that stuff would start to kind of go away.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, we...
My immersion.
I
I don't want to be reminded of capitalism.
Yeah.
At my comfort event.
That's funny.
Keep your filthy capitalism away from my good Christian wasteland. One of the things that we like to do, and we don't all do it, is no matching pairs or duplicates of things.
What do you mean?
So, like if you have a pair,
stuff?
like shoes, for example.
Oh.
And I know that not everybody can be a badass like Adept and wear 2 different shoes.
Oh my God,
but-
that sounds like a sensory nightmare.
It's not bad.
what
I found
I-
2
Really?
that go well.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The trick is to find 2 shoes that are very, very similar.
Gotcha.
But if you think about it, think about when you drive down the street and you see, and it's always weird when you see it, a shoe in the road. You ever drive down and see a shoe?
Oh, yeah.
You never find a pair, do you?
No,
It's
very
always
rarely.
just
Unless they're
one.
tied
single
together.
shoe.
Unless they're tied together, and that is
up on the
as a matter of fact,
on the wire.
recently we saw a pair of shoes, and I went, "Oh my God!" I felt like I was seeing Bigfoot. In the wild.
Did you see that?
Because every time we see, I go, "Oh, there's a shoe," or a glove, or it's like you find one.
Yeah.
And so having a matching set, I feel like would indicate either extraordinarily stupid good luck or that you were some sort of royalty or noble or some high muckety muck who my flunkies went out and found these for that, I had one and it was a really good one, and I sent the war boys out on an expedition, and by God, they found another one. Now they weren't originally together, but now I've got them, and so now I have 2 of the same glove, 2 boots
Luxury.
that match. And that's just our own. We put that on ourselves.
And do you guys have like a time since the fall? Because I know with Wasteland, it is a number of years after a post-apocalyptic event, a worldwide post-apocalyptic event. They don't really spell out whether it was nukes or environmental, and they certainly don't spell out how long it's been. We do know it's been a while.
But it's open to interpretation.
And for the sake of the lore, and my precious lore, for the sake of the event's kind of ability to fold in all these different things, like all the different IPs, to have those be able to mesh. That I know they're very vague about it. We do it like they do it in the Max movies. I really love where we started with it was in Fury Road, where they put the tattoo on Max's back, and they've got all this data on him, blood type and all this jazz.
There's a lot of information for a very short shot.
A lot of
So
information.
cool.
They talk about, oh gosh, what is it? It says something about the day, what day, how many days basically it's been since the fall. And so we do that. I don't remember exactly what day we're on, but we're in the 10,000s.
Yeah,
But
because
basically it's 10,000 and X number of days since the fall.
I think the bolt cutters in the Green Place do something similar as well.
yeah, because
They
it came
have-
from Furio, so how long has it been?
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. So it was similar to that.
Yeah, and Schofield's
That's
Drifters
really
have a double digit of years since the fall that they incorporate in their lore. And I think it's kind of neat because I've always thought chances are the big apocalypse of the world is going to be different in different places. Because yes, atomic, if we go to nuclear war in real life, pockets of cities are going to be destroyed that way, but then outside of that there's going to be famine, there's going to be disease, the apocalypse is going to hit different in different places, and because of that there might be flooding in some places, so everyone will still have their different biblical end of the world story that they believe was the end of the world, but it'd probably be different in different places. And so that kind of works for each tribe having their own story,
well, and their own look too, because you're going to look like what is necessary for your region. If your region is watery and wet, then your clothing might have to do with that, a la Waterworld.
And we do have some dry docked boats that still show up even since the D's hasn't been there.
Oh, the D's.
Yep.
R.I.P. Pour it out for my homies.
R.I.P.
You all know that creepy beach resort hotel that got taken over by raiders? Well, yeah, you've all gotten so good at staying away from there that those handsome raiders have gone away. So now you can go back there again. The pool is open, so's the hot tub, both full of clean, fresh water, and there's more food than you've ever seen. Did I mention the raiders are definitely gone? 'Cause they are. We've got rooms for everyone, so bring all your valuable stuff with you. You're gonna want to be here a while, and you don't need to bring weapons. Everyone here is really nice.
Tell them it's not a trap.
Shut up, they'll hear you.
Just tell them.
It's definitely not a trap. We'll be waiting for you, so come on down.
Think it'll work?
The Love Bombs provide top-notch outcomes for the most discriminating clients all across the Wasteland. When you need executive escort and protection, intelligence analysis, direct action, or other specialized solutions, the Love Bombs provide a bespoke option tailored directly to your needs. Listen to this heartfelt testimonial from one of the Love Bombs' satisfied clients.
I hired the Love Bombs to save my precious Pookie Pie from them there scabs over yonder. They was fixing to turn his poor hide into jerky. Woo! Whew! I reckon not a one of those bastards will walk away from this scuffle. Goodness gracious, I reckon I ain't ever seen a gun that big. The Love Bombs will give your enemies a licking they won't soon forget.
Yes, the Love Bombs. They're polite, professional, and have a plan to kill everyone they meet. The Love Bombs provide complete confidentiality in their free initial consultation. That's right, the initial consultation is absolutely free. Remember, the Love Bombs. Artillery available.
Did that feel good?
What?
Does that feel about right?
Like you said, did that feel
I know,
good?
that was weird. Why did I say it that way?
Can you feel it now, Mr.
Does
Krabs?
does that feel
Are
about...
you feeling it now,
Are you-
Mr. Krabs?
All right,
Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? This is the content your patrons pay for. Sorry, I'm gonna stop.
All right, where did we really leave off? We were talking about the Farlanders style guide. So tell me a little bit more about, how you guys kind of define your aesthetic. And of course, people, you can make your own, but this is also kind of a really good starting point for a lot of different costuming.
Yeah, so we've got at the bottom of our style guide ways to create the perfect post-apocalyptic look. And the first one is customize. Customize is rule one. Don't be content to just find a garment and use it as is. Tear off the pockets, cut out the zippers. If it has value, my thought with clothing is if there's something on it that has value, you probably have cut it off and bartered it to someone
interesting.
for water.
Fun.
You've cut off buttons, you've cut off zippers, you've cut off anything, labels, tags, it's probably stripped down to the barest version of itself. Practice asymmetry. First of all, my idea of Wasteland was taught to me by Sir George T. Miller in the 80s Max movies. Yeah, that's right. I said it, George T. I'm calling you out. Think about how asymmetrical everything looked, especially in those original first three movies. Very 80s. I love that look. My wife, not so much. But two different boots, adding an odd sleeve onto a garment that obviously doesn't match, that sort of thing.
And so I think all of that combined kind of makes our personal tribe aesthetic. Often I've described it, and it has developed over the years, kind of as our lore develops accidentally. I don't even know how we came to some of it. I think just a wayward comment. But I like to describe our own tribe aesthetic as if the Mad Max game met Arthurian kind of legend vibe.
Ooh,
like that
that's
medieval kind of
I can see that
vibe.
for sure.
And we do have essentially our Knights of the Round Table. You know, we got the rest of our tribe, and that's kind of how everybody has a job. You know, we all come together like that. Like, we're working on titles right now. Like, Wise is our Stratagard.
Oh, cool.
Stratagard.
Yeah.
That's fun to
really
say.
Cool.
And we had some others, but I can't remember them because I think we're still workshopping most of them. So, like, with all, you know, the mismatched things, it kind of gives that kind of eclectic, just kind of out here trying to make it work vibe. But then, you know, when you accidentally start a whole ass cult, things develop from there.
Yes.
And that's,
Right.
you know, how we ended up with the Warlord and
Even unto death.
Yes.
even
Yeah,
unto
you
death.
guys have gotten a little more culty over the
Yeah.
last few
It's
events.
barely a cult, y'all.
I mean, I don't
Barely.
hate it. I'm not mad about it.
And then you two are very like Warlord, like royalty kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
vibes,
We
which is
got
really cool.
the Warlord, and then
Adept
Queen
is
Adept.
literally a queen, so
Queen
no big
Adept.
I
deal.
literally
With your
wear
beautiful crown.
I wear a crown. She came down at a bubble. Anyway, she wore a crown. So yeah, it's not exactly subtle. We kind of threw subtlety out the window. I think that first Silverman ceremony, we were like,
Oh, we're done with subtle. Okay.
Yeah.
let's just lean into it.
Yeah, and you guys kind of carry through because just the way the two of you walk around and the rest of the Farlanders kind of as your guard, like you guys walk like no one else walks at Wasteland. I don't know if you realize this.
I don't even know. You know, it's actually something very interesting that I learned from when I did like events in California, like Ren Fair and Dickens Fair and crap like that. It's called physical characterization. And sometimes you put on, and even for reenacting, you put on clothing and specific pieces and it makes you feel different and move different and vibe different, as it were.
Yeah.
So like I put the damn crown on and the whole thing with the train and the boots, and I'm just like,
You didn't want to do
This
the
is it.
train. I had to con you into the train.
I did not want to do the train.
Oh, the train is amazing.
He was determined that I was going to do it.
So now listen, this is another one of those things that has to do with character, and it makes sense for our characters. We're basically Wasteland nobility.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
we are not Wasteland nobility. The boys are Wasteland nobility. We are Wasteland royalty.
yes, sorry.
Get it right.
terribly sorry, Your Highness. But my whole thing was like, you know, you see those ancient costumes and they'll have trains on them and stuff. And I was like, that's the least practical. But what a freaking flex in a world where you're lucky to just have a shirt on your back. Like, I've got so much material, I can afford to drag it on the
that's
fucking ground
interesting.
behind me.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, that's how big I am.
Yeah.
I can drag it in the dirt. It's not even touching my body. It's just here to look good.
Yeah.
Or even like the pelts.
That's how
you
big
know,
I am.
like,
Yeah,
the
I've got
pelts
these
of animals.
furs of these creatures that haven't existed in
Yeah,
ages, but
right.
I've got one. You know, and you know, you see the Immortan. Like the Immortan is bedecked with medals that
Right.
you're looking at like, what the heck does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what that is, but it's fancy.
Right.
You know, and he's got this beautiful armor and all this stuff. And that's that pageantry. This is for you, Mickey Bang Bang. That's that pageantry that we just absolutely love. And so when I did my robe with my train on it, she was like, are you sure it's going to drag in the dirt and be I was like, yes, I'm 100% sure. I have to move different. I have to watch what I'm doing and pay attention, but it looks sharp. And then I talked her into one too.
Well,
And
because
I
you
was
wanted
like,
me to stand in the back of the Nova during the open ceremony and have somebody walk behind the Nova holding my train. But I was like,
Stunning.
that is my ultimate dream, to have like a couple of war boys behind you
that would be stunning.
holding your train in the opening ceremonies. Like they're walking behind the car while you ride in it like a freaking Caesar in a chariot.
we were going to
Like-
get Wise to do it, but we were all concerned that it would be a safety issue. So we've still been too hesitant to do it.
War boys hit the queen up. She needs some help with
It's
that
true.
train.
It's true.
And we made her train. How long is your train? It's absurd long.
I don't know. Well, and then last year too, I made that new top that has the sleeves that are insane.
Yeah.
It was made out of Wise is gonna punch me in the face. The Gibson Girl radio parachute.
Yeah.
That we got from
World War II.
How
yeah,
cool.
and it's an OG one. So sorry, nobody punch me for it, please.
History nerds, if it makes you feel better, it had already been cut up. We got it from an estate sale.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
No harm
somebody-
done. You turned it a broken thing into something
It's
beautiful.
gotten new life, which, by the way, is great for Wasteland. Misuse things.
Yes.
That's on the list. Take a like she said earlier. Take an elbow pad and turn it into a knee pad.
Yeah. Pretty sure it was your Ghostbuster elbow pad that I turned
It
into.
is.
The Ghostbuster costume lives.
Continues to live on.
Right. Take a leather garter belt and turn it into a bra, which, by the way, I've seen done out there.
Ouch.
Use a grimy dish rag as a scarf. Slotted spoons into protective eyewear. Tear up an old tent to make a jacket. Be creative. I mean, that's what they would be. Think about if you're in the wasteland and you find a shoe at the side of the road, you'd be picking that thing up and wearing it. And if that meant that one foot was bare until you found something else, you would. If you found an old tent, you'd be like, okay, am I sleeping in it? Am I turning it into clothes? Am I making a hat out of it? Am I turning it into a cape because I'm, misuse things. Misusing things is a great way to get that wasteland look. And wear and tear also. You talked about Gimli's favorite. I think Gimli just likes to hit stuff with a hammer.
It's fun.
But Gimli was so excited to show me using a hammer to fray the edges of material.
It's awesome.
It works like
it works
too.
so
cool.
good.
Yeah.
And speaking of like misusing things, even in like Fury Road, Max's like muzzle is a old garden rake.
Oh yeah.
I like that so much.
Stuff like that, like it's just so cool. I've seen people be so clever with the objects they turn into other things. I've seen people, I forget who it was, but someone had like a adept, what's it called in like old-timey clothes, the like back of your head kind of collar.
Oh, the supportas?
Yeah,
that you
someone
see
made one
Elizabethan.
out of a garden rake, and it was very, very cool.
How have I not seen that?
I don't know. I saw it last year. I
need
can't
that
remember
person
who it
to come and
was.
find me because we need to talk.
It was really, really cool. But like just stuff like that is so creative and so fun, and it gives such life to the event.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think really helps to create a very specific aesthetic to your character, your tribe, who you are as people. That goes a really long way to giving Wasteland like its life and its vibe. There's as far as I know, like there are countless tribes I think that have their own kind of cohesive aesthetic, whether they intend it or not. I think sometimes too it just sort of comes together. I don't know if all of the tribes in the theme zone and out of the theme zone that just exist at Wasteland go quite as far as we do. I know some of them do, in terms of like their lore and their aesthetic and things like that.
Some of them are just there to have a good time.
Yeah, some of them are there to have a good time.
Which is super valid.
Which is also allowed.
Yeah, like you think about the faceless merchants, like who they are. Like if somebody is a part of the faceless merchant tribe.
Right away.
You don't even have to talk to them. You just know. I mean, part of that is because mask, but
right. But there's a lot of masks there, and theirs are very particular.
Specific. It is a defining point of their character, and they have a very specific look for how they're supposed to go. And we have our own aesthetic. The Dukes have their own aesthetic. Schofield Drifters as well. Like so the Dukes do what? It's like you said it was.
Yeah, we do that like 60s and 70s American ex-military. But now we're gun runners and mercenaries, and so all of our costumes just have a little. They only need like a piece of that camo, but always kind of throwing back to like jungle camo stuff.
Yeah, and so that's one version of military, and I feel like just in knowing what they do as a tribe, that the Schofield Drifters they vibe militaristic. I don't want to say necessarily military, but more of a militaristic, sort of vibe as they do their mercenary work, guns for hire and things like that. I think there's a few. I'm trying to brain them out.
Autumn Pact does really, really cool, mercenary kind of paramilitary, but they're in their own like really unique, cool way.
You can always pick out an Autumn Pact person because their costumes are so detailed and so many layers and so gorgeous.
They do an incredible thing where like it's tons of layering of like repairing. Like there's a lot of like holes that they like repair with different fabrics. It's just so cool how much like wear and tear they incorporate into their costumes. They like look worn. They look like they are maintained. They've done distressing like intelligently and like thoughtfully. It's not just like throwing patches and stitches in random places. It's like it's functional.
You think about where the wear would come from these clothes, and how it would need patching and where it would need patching, which is one thing we do when we distress too, is you think about like where are you going to be touching these clothes, where's the damage going to come depending on your job. So we do a lot of that, like with Crybaby, he does the black hands, which I think is so
pit
cool.
stains on your costume.
Oh, yeah,
You can do that. Use olive oil.
Yeah.
If
really?
you use olive oil, it is a really great way to look like sweat without being disgusting.
Do it around the edges of like your collar, on your sleeves.
Yeah, watered down ink to kind of create that like grungy look and things like that. What are some other tribes? I'm trying to think of some other tribes that have strong aesthetics.
Like Rabbit Asylum. They're like a metal tribe. Like metal is in rock and roll, but they also kind of have this like they were in a mental institution. And got released onto the world kind of a look. And then Ward 19 kind of also takes that where they're, ex-crazies, but in a very different way. They almost feel like fratty in a way, Ward 19. Because, they do the beer Olympics, right?
Yeah, they're pretty fratty.
So
I
they're
would roll with that.
That's funny.
Yeah, like a mental asylum frat boys.
Word. Skulldugers also have a very cool aesthetic too, that I think also keeps developing over the years. I feel like they are not too far away from Farlander aesthetic, I think, in a lot of their ways.
Yeah. No, you could mix them in with a group photo of us and
it'd be fine.
Yeah.
It would be fine.
99% of them would be fit
I know
right in.
I know the Harbingers have a kind of a spooky occult vibe. They're super well done.
Yeah.
Like in terms of their cohesiveness, bolties,
Yeah, I was going to say the rag weavers
Yeah.
and the bolt cutters are both very like a lot more like natural fibers, more flowy. They're green place tribes. So
yeah, they've done a really good job keeping those.
And the green place is a little bit more of like a work together to survive kind of area rather than a warring will take what you've got kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So they just have a little bit more flow, a little bit more lighter colors.
Softer fabrics,
Yeah.
not a lot of armor, weapons,
Yeah, you got tribes like the Attack Squad that are very punk. They'll do like, rock vests and a lot of patches and that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to do it and no way to do it right necessarily. There's lots of options.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way to do it. There is a wrong way to do it, but that's, I think, sort of based on opinion.
Oh, no, I agree. There's a wrong way.
And there are like legitimate per the event wrong ways to do it too.
Yes,
But
to be sure.
Our theme ambassadors will not hesitate to tell you. Praise them for that. That's thankless work, but very necessary. I think.
My immersion.
My immersions.
Immersion.
All right, Bridget, finish up. I know that we kind of lost it there, but finish up
sorry.
the
No.
Farlanders guide.
And she actually touched on it. Wear and tear.
Yeah.
I'm reading you the whole section. It's short. The most important part. The Wasteland is a rough and tumble place full of hard scrabble survivors. Your clothes should reflect that idea. Colors exist before the end came down on us. But in the Wasteland, everything has gotten so filthy and grime-coated, you can hardly tell red from brown these days. Be sure to keep your colors muted and dirty. Everyone's occupation and environment will wear their clothing in different ways. Be sure that they have an appropriate level of damage, wear, weathering, and grime to reflect who you are and where you come from. Remember, everything you wear and carry with you has been touched by the filthy world that is the Wasteland.
That's awesome. Put that on a shirt.
That's
A dirty shirt. Put it on a
Right
filthy,
there.
A dirty
shirt.
shirt.
Yeah, that sure better be
With
filthy.
olive oil pit stains.
Hell yeah.
A lesson I learned at my very first Wasteland, 2011, I was going around doing a lot of interviews. I ended up at the Juggers camp. And I don't remember the guy's name. I wish I did. He was an older fella. And a lot of the Juggers came out of the Ren Fair world. So they're very used to costuming and that kind of thing. And he kind of jumped right into it, and it was hard not to know that he was talking about me because he was mentioning that, a lot of people that were at Wasteland, especially early on, and still to this day, like you get people that, come in and just try with what they know and don't really have an idea of what works yet. But he mentioned how if you're a survivor in the Wasteland, you would become an expert sewer. You would be repairing your clothes all the time. At least you would be with a group of people where at least one person would take on like repairing clothes. And so if something got a hole in the middle of its chest, that hole would be sewn back up or patched.
Yeah.
And so that's where the idea of repairs rather than holes, and I'm sitting there listening to him behind the camera. And, I did the thing where I just took scissors to my shirt, just punched a bunch of random holes in it. So I literally just had, like little spots where my belly's sticking out. And it's like, you would not live that way very long. You would find a way to find some thread and put it back together. And the repairs look way better.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
They look lived in and practical. And so, even if you just take some thread, you don't even need to put a hole in it, but but it looks better if you do. But just take the thread and make a repair line with it.
One of my
Can look
favorite
really
things
cool.
to do at Wasteland during my downtime is sew fabric patches into my costumes.
Oh, cool.
Just at the event.
That's
it like
neat.
gets me in the headspace. I don't know. I really enjoy it. Sometimes we'll just like sit around and be doing like, you know, either adding a new patch that we acquired from a vendor or like a trade or bartering or just like, you know, fixing a random hole that we have in our costumes. It's just like a fun thing to just like do in your downtime. I feel like it really gets you in the spirit of like the Wasteland.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a sewing kit. I've been known to repair stuff for my tribe.
You did my pants with that giant crotch hole
I did
a couple of years ago.
I
or
did.
Last year?
And then there was one year Crybaby was sewing the crotch of his pants while he was wearing them. It's one of my favorite pictures.
Oh, we're just all watching him.
I've done that.
We're all
It
just
was
watching
so
him like,
hysterical.
oh God, we're about to watch something horrible happen.
It was hysterical. And I am with you on that. Like, I think basic, and I just think that today, and I wish that this was more of a thing, but like just basic sewing, a basic running stitch, get froggy and do a back stitch, and then you can combine them. Which is what I've been doing.
Wow.
And sewing a button on. Like, I think that those are practical skills that everyone should learn how to do.
Right.
But in the Wasteland, especially, it would be it would be a life skill, like not just for funsies.
Yeah.
It would be a survival skill.
Yeah. And
Anybody at Wasteland who wants to learn how to sew, hit me up on the Farlander camp. I will teach you.
hell yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
I promise it's not hard.
And kind of in that same vein, like wear and tear is not random.
Yeah, exactly.
It's your sleeves, it's your pits, it's the
knees.
fringes and edges. Knees are huge. Just think about the every pair of jeans you've ever owned. Where does it wear out? The pockets, the knees, the ankles. Meanwhile, there's big swaths that never get really anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And so kind of thinking that way.
Places where they rub.
Yeah.
And rub against like the interiors of vehicles. Or if you're a mechanic, like think about where you're leaning against the vehicle and what's touching.
What are you wiping your hands on?
Where do you wipe your hands?
That's one of the things
when they
we
get
do
dirty.
is like we'll put rubber gloves on and like get our hands in some like watered down paint or whatever it is, and we'll wipe our hands like where you would wipe them
Oh,
off.
totally.
So like on our pants, or like I tend to, when I wipe my hands, I tend to do it up here on my shoulder. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, and like with jobs too, like you were talking about, you know, depending on what job you do, the wear will be different. Like we were talking about with Helping Suicide with his costuming, you know, he's a black thumb. So his sleeves here at the bottoms are going to be really torn up.
Right.
And he literally works on cars in real life. So I think at some
Yeah.
point he was just like, I'm just going to wear these pants while I'm working on the car.
Totally.
And that's just
Gimli
get
does that.
actual
Yeah.
oil
Gimli does
grease
that.
on
Yeah.
them. Like,
I've done that too.
Is
the
so
best way to
clever.
age it is to wear it like you would wear it.
Yeah.
You
Throw
know?
the costume on.
But
and
like
just do the work.
here's a fun dorky thing that we did, and we did this with 3 lights, and we did it right here in the middle of the room, and that is, she had an outfit. She was like, I want to do like a black thumb kind of outfit with like a pair of coveralls and stuff. And so I took some bits and bobs, just some nuts and bolts and things, and put them into a plastic container with a little bit of black ink and some paint. And then I thinned it down with a little water, and all those parts were in just a little bit of water, not much. And I made her put her outfit on, and then I put something under her because I knew it was going to make a mess. I said, now take those parts out I said, set this bin on your lap, take those parts out and clean them off. Well, how am I supposed to do that? I said, I don't know, Wasteland. And so she'd pull them out, and then she'd wipe them on her outfit, and she'd say, okay, I cleaned this one. What do I do with it? I said, put it back in the bin. And then I just made her just repeatedly, she'd
so
pull them
clever.
out, and wherever, you know, what would make sense.
Yeah.
And then she'd say, well, Dad, my hands are dirty. And I said, wipe them off. Where do you wipe them? And she'd wipe them on her thighs, or she'd wipe them on her hips, or she'd wipe them, you know, on her stomach or whatever. And so that when she was done, she had all this very legitimate looking where she'd been wiping her hands, where she'd been cleaning off basically what we envisioned as car parts.
Yeah.
It was a great way to get the look without being really greasy or having to do, you know, 10 years worth of automotive work. There are ways to do it. And it's kind of a fun, dorky way to put some parts in a bin, pull them out, clean them off with what you've got on. Use you know, your shirt tail, use your, you know, the put them in, I don't know, stick your hands in your pockets, you know, just and that'll make things, it'll give them a real good, natural, funky look.
It's great to also just like, if you're using paint or dye, wear a costume while you're doing it. Because same thing, you get your hands dirty, wipe them off on your costume. Like, that's something we do a lot where, you know, if we spill something while we're doing crafting, we'll just be like, I don't know, use my costume piece to wipe it up.
Oh yeah, here, wipe it up with this shirt.
Yeah. And I'll be a little bit gross because this happens with the Dukes all the time. If you cut yourself and start bleeding, use it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I've done it costuming
legit.
so many times,
Yep.
like, you know, trying to put holes in things, and I'm using some very expensive, very sharp scissors like an idiot.
Yeah.
And go into my hand. I'm like, bleh.
blot.
Is it really a costume for an event if you haven't bled a little bit
true.
into it?
All right. And so since we got there, obviously, once you get your costume looking amazing, you got to wash it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Especially your t-shirts, your pants, the stuff that literally gets, you know, body grime on it. What do you guys do as far as like washing your stuff without getting the stain out? A lot of stuff's going to stay no matter
Vodka.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great
Alcohol. Spray bottle of vodka.
That's a great way to get smells
Right
out.
down, get your smells out.
Yeah. Not straight vodka.
No,
No, you gotta water it. You gotta water it a little
No,
bit.
just
Really?
take a bottle of Tito's.
Yeah,
pour it
go
on
to
your
the liquor
outfit.
store, get the cheapest vodka you can get your hands on. What do you cut it? 50-50? What do you do?
Depends on how smelly the garment is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're going to want to cut it. You can put it in a spray bottle. That's a
how I like
great
to do
way to, you're going to get a lot of stank out with that.
Yeah.
STANK, kids, for y'all that are keeping track at home. That's stank. That's
I've heard
when you
about
smell bad.
throwing clothes in the freezer. Does that work?
Oh, I've never tried that
never
before.
tried
that either.
I've heard of that. I've not ever tried it.
Yeah.
So,
But you know, honestly, going further back, when you're doing this distressing, so make sure that what you're doing is like, it takes and is like color fast or whatever like that. So when we dye stuff, we use walnuts. to dye
don't tell
it.
anybody.
That's
That's
the
Farlander's
Farlander
secret.
secret.
Oh,
is
I
a
know.
that
lot
lives
of
and
it.
dies with us right here, just the four of us.
Yep,
Yeah,
just the four of
definitely
us.
Don't
not
worry,
to
I won't
whoever
tell
listens.
In
anybody.
private. In the privacy of your own home.
Exactly. And that, so when we color our stuff and we dye our stuff, or we use paint or we use things like that, ink, watered down ink is usually better than paint. But when we're done, we will put it in the dryer or find a way to make it fast. So like when you're, I don't know how familiar people are with dyeing or whatever, but if you use what's called a mordant, which you could use vinegar or salt or
Immordant
alum. Immordant.
Different guy.
It's my show. I can do it.
That's literally the worst pun I've ever heard in my life.
I took psychic damage from that.
I think I am forever wounded. Thanks for that. I expect financial compensation. Have you or a loved one been victimized by makeshift horrible puns?
My dad puns.
And then, so when
Yes.
you make sure it's color fast, throw it in the dryer, and you could even throw it in the washer too. And that way, like for a lot of our stuff, we come home and we throw it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
a
and
lot
it's
of our stuff we
color
can
fast.
wash because I want to look gross. I don't actually want to be gross.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
Look, I'm only so hardcore.
Yeah.
So if I can stain it and have it be permanently stained beforehand so that I can wash it. And sometimes we've washed things before and you'll take it out and you'll realize, oh, it's lost a little bit of color. That's not terrible.
Yeah.
You can always add it back
It's
in.
not so bad. You can always add a little bit more, or you can just kind of let it keep fading. Vodka's great. Vodka spray.
Put it out in the sun.
You can also do a gentle hand wash
Right.
where I'm not putting it in a hardcore machine with a
Right.
bunch of real heavy chemicals.
Yeah.
Sometimes just having like a little detergent in some hot water and just doing it like in the sink, you can do it in the kitchen sink or in the bathtub if you got a bunch of stuff. Let it soak for a little while, and just be kind of gentle with it.
Yeah.
That's
Line
going to
dry.
help too. And yeah, I can't. What
Hanging
are
stuff
other
out
ways?
in the sun. I'm not kidding.
Yeah,
It's
put it in the sun,
wild
let it air.
how well that works.
Yeah, let it air out.
Yeah.
That helps.
Because once it dries out, that's when like bacteria dies. If it doesn't have the water and the sweat to keep working off of. If it's
Yeah.
bunched in the hamper, it will.
It'll get funky.
It'll get
will
funky.
fester.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spicy.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. That's really cool. And yeah, a lot of the stuff that we use to stain will stick. Honestly.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna talk about dirt too for like texture. You can literally get dirt to stick to your costumes with. I like to use headliner glue
Ooh, fun.
because it comes in this spray bottle that does a completely irregular vertical line pattern.
Oh.
And then you can literally you can do like Wasteland dirt. You can do dirt from your backyard, whatever you want to do.
So for those at home who don't know what that is, could you just explain that? Not for me,
So
but
this is
for
stuff
other people.
The headliner is the fabric that's in the top of your car.
Oh.
And so it's held up there with held iron glue, which is actually really
makes sense.
easily accessible online or at stores. I guess that's where you buy stuff.
Online
generally.
But yeah, you can use if you don't want to use dirty dirt, you can use Fuller's Earth, which is the movie industry standard for like clean dirt. And cinnamon would create
rust.
a rusty effect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any other favorite textures?
When we did, do you remember at the very beginning, proto Farlanders? I would take. I had this little can of flat black paint, and then like a little bin of dirt beside it, and I had a glove, and I would dip my hand into the paint just a little bit with the glove on, and grab a fistful of dirt, and then just rub it onto the clothes. So that it embeds some of that texture into that paint. The problem was I was using exterior acrylic latex, and it does not happen to breathe when you put it on. So it's good, like it'll be good on things that already aren't, like boots and equipment that's not expected to breathe. Maybe don't do it on your clothes.
Got it. That's interesting. Yeah, because now that you've gone through the trouble of putting on those natural fibers, you don't
and then
want
I'm
to
putting
rubberize it.
Freaking rubber. Yeah.
Also, if you're using black paint, make sure it's not sparkly.
Oh no!
Happened to,
like glossy?
Yeah, that happened to Killshot recently. She was wasting her new pants, and she used black paint, but it was like it had like a slight kind of mineral sparkle to it in the sun.
Oh,
but
funny.
it still looks cool, just
shiny,
sparkly,
Glistening.
glistening in the sunlight, just
That's
like
hilarious.
a Twilight vampire.
Interesting. And then this is going to be a shout out to Show Pony. She kind of taught me that if you want to texturize your skin, and she does this very often for like doing photos and wanting to get some dirt on her skin, so use sunblock, which is tacky enough to actually hold some dirt. So she'll spray sunblock on, literally reach down, grab some dirt, put it on. Of course, you want to be careful about putting that in areas that chafe, because it will hurt. But for like forearms, hand, like back of hands,
I can see
if you want to just add a little texture to your exposed skin, and honestly, between the sunblock and the dirt, it's actually really good UV protection. Right?
Okay.
You can also use, if you don't want to use dirt, you could use like Maron, like I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's like a makeup powder. You can get that in a few different colors. It won't stay well in your clothes, obviously, if you like wash it, but it's great like on site if you just want to like add an extra like fun color dusting to your clothes. Yeah, it's a really nice alternative. We use it quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's really smart. I never thought about using that.
Yeah, and it's well-established tradition that if you don't look dirty enough, at some point someone's going to make you just roll around in the dirt.
Yes,
because that's a really fast way to add some texture.
Yeah, you get there and you're like, oh no, my new boots are too. Yeah, kick some dirt onto it.
It's amazing too. You just walk 10 feet, and if you have boots that are very, very black, they will be dusty. They will be very
get
quickly.
dusty real fast.
Yeah. All right. I think we're pretty well covered.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling?
Get it covered because clothes.
Waka waka.
See, mine are funny.
Yep.
Can I be fashion bad cop?
Ooh.
Yeah, hit us.
Okay, fashion bad cop.
Oh,
here.
maybe we can all jump in, so you're not putting yourself out there alone.
No, I'll put myself out there.
Okay,
I don't
go
care.
for it.
Zero qualms about
I'll be
it.
the bad
haters.
guy. I'll be the bad guy. I don't
All
care.
right, go for it.
Listen, y'all basic Wasteland bitches. Listen.
Off to a strong start.
Y'all can. Yeah, I'm coming in hot. None of this is going into the podcast. This is just for the patron. No, in all seriousness.
You act like I edit.
That's right. That may not have to care. In all seriousness, Wasteland Basics, listen. I know there's a lot to do before you go to the event. Be less basic. Be less basic. Put a little effort into it. I know you got a lot. I know it's overwhelming. You're going to get out there and be sorry you didn't do a little bit more. Take a scarf, muck up your shirt, muck up your pants, bring you a coat that you muck up, muck it up a little bit. Don't just swing by the Walmart and grab a black t-shirt and a pair of black pants. You're going to look like you just left a concert. All right. You're going to Wasteland. Let's do better. Y'all can do it. The Warlord believes in you. The Silver Man believes in you. The Warlord believes in you. Queen of Death believes in you.
She does not.
Yeah, she knows you're
If
gonna
you think
blow it.
he's being the fashion bad cop right now, he's not.
But in all seriousness, you know, a little bit of effort goes a long way.
And like
It's fun also.
Yeah,
It's
it honestly
really,
is.
really fun. I know it might seem like a lot of effort, and it can be if you want it to be, but it can just be fun. Like just get messy.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
It's really fun.
Yeah, the creation of your outfit isn't punishment. You're not being penalized. You're going to a big themed party in the desert. Dress appropriately.
Yeah.
You know where you're going.
Yeah. And you can organize a few other Wastelanders to get together, like get in a backyard where you can get as messy as you want.
Yep.
And everyone bring a few different things. Bring some dye, bring some spray paint, you know, bring a hammer.
The
Bring a
Scam
hammer.
Bandits have craft days. That's the only way any of us get anything done is through
Heard
the
that.
power of community.
Right.
And you know, I do have to say, as somebody who can be a snarky asshole, me.
Not you.
Yeah, not me, never me. I do also have to understand that, like, everybody's got to start somewhere, and for a lot of people, costuming is not their thing. Like, okay, you don't know how to sew. That's totally fine. Again, we talked about it. Not everybody does. You don't necessarily have to.
No.
It's you can thrift a fully complete outfit. It's a matter of looking at everyday pieces and thinking outside the box a little bit. You know, adjusting how you wear something, and like we talked about that plenty. You got to think outside the box a bit, and kind of just go a little ham, go a little wild, do something a little different.
You might not be able to sew. You can push a pair of scissors.
Yeah, exactly. And just and look at pieces if you you know, don't necessarily look at clothes. You can turn a blanket into a jacket by just cutting a couple holes.
Yep.
You know,
Make
look
a
at
killer
textures.
poncho. I got one of those.
Yeah, textures are a really good way to go. And you know, if you are somebody who can sew and you're not really quite sure where to start, hit up Pinterest, y'all. Hit up Instagram. Hit up a Farlander. I'll help you. I don't care.
Yeah.
This is my thing. I love doing clothing and I love doing costumes. So reach out to the community. I mean, we're more than happy to help.
Texture is huge. I think
Texture
if you're
is
looking in the
huge.
mirror and you feel like your costume is missing something, or it looks kind of like, you know, a little flat, chances are you're missing texture.
Yeah, it's 9 times out of 10, you know, I'll say it about a lot of cosplays that I see. Or like if somebody wants to do like make a really great example, and I see it a lot, making like a Lord of the Rings costume. And they're like, here's my cloak, here's my tunic, here's my breeches. You all do cool stuff. I love it. They're all made out of the same fabric. It's all linen
funny.
or all
Yeah.
like cotton broadcloth. And I'm like, throw in a wool, throw in a different texture cotton or things like that, you know? So it's mixture textures.
Yeah.
Is a really big thing, and just try, honestly. I'm so tired of seeing people who don't try. Like, not even at all.
Yeah. And not to just cry wolf by saying needs more dirt, because that's been a rallying cry
no,
of all Wastelands for a long time. But
Sometimes it needs more than dirt.
Yeah.
But in general, like as far as you go, what feels right at home, you're probably going to need to go twice as much for the desert, because you know, you're seeing people from much further away, so you're not seeing as much detail, and you really want to sell that distressing, that color that you're working on. So whatever you do, go 100% more.
Yeah. When I was doing Royal Navy reenactment, anything that our motto was, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So y'all overdo it a little bit.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna hurt you, I promise.
And have fun.
That's the biggest part. Is
Don't forget to have fun.
Yeah.
have some fun.
Make us proud, kids. You can do it. I believe in you.
I love it. All right, so I'm just going to do a few little of my tidbits at the end, and help me out on this, Winks. So one thing to remember, there is Bartertown at Wasteland Weekend, where we have the world's biggest collection. I don't know, this could be true or not. I'm going to say the world's biggest collection of post-apocalyptic vendors, which I don't know, that could be true. Right? Because it is the world's biggest post-apocalyptic festival.
You're right.
The world's biggest gathering of post-apocalyptic vehicles.
That's
we
true.
know this for a fact.
Okay.
Well, maybe not for a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, keep it moving.
Anyway, Bartertown's awesome. You got a lot of handmade stuff. And literally, if you show up with no costume and you bring some old world money, you can probably get an entire costume when you're there. Don't count on it, because who knows if it comes in your size. But there's a very good chance you can accessorize yourself pretty well once you're there.
And there's some really, if you've got the money, there's some really, really incredible artisans who go and sell stuff. There's also just like Walmart, where you can kind of like just like get a bunch of stuff for pretty cheap, which is also great. So depending on your budget, there's different places to go.
Yeah. And along with that, you don't need to spend big money.
Yeah.
Because you can go through your closet. You can do some clothing swaps.
Do you have an old piece of clothing that you love but has holes in it and you don't want to throw it away? Turn it into a Wasteland thing. I just did that with a shawl that I used to wear when I was a teenager that I've had for like 20 years. I was like, I don't want to get rid of this, but I'm not wearing it anymore. Just turn it into a Wasteland piece.
Yeah. It's a 5-day event, so bring some options.
You're going to want to change. You're going to get gross.
Yeah. It gets pretty grody. Do not do the thing where you're like, it's the Wasteland, I'm going to wear one pair of underwear the whole time.
No, what?
Please
What?
don't do that.
What do you mean? The thing where, who?
Somebody out there is listening like, oh.
I just got called out personally.
You don't have to theme everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I do have in my list here, like if you're going to bring some white socks, throw those in your dye bucket as well.
Yeah.
If I see white tube socks and slides at this event, I will tackle you, beat your ass.
Yeah. And honestly, white socks take on color really well, so dirty those up too.
That's a no excuse right there. That's a you didn't give a shit, and I will absolutely beat the shit out of you.
But it's easy to forget. And then same deal with like
violence.
People who know me know that's not an empty threat.
Yes.
And same thing with like if you're gonna go shirtless or you have a midriff or something like that, and you wear like designer underwear and you can see the band.
Oh, come
No one
on.
wants to see your Calvin Klein underwear.
No one wants to see your Calvin Klein underwear brand. Yeah. It's kind of funny because like, yes, we do wear underwear, but for some reason, a very slick, like brightly colored underwear band that has a big brand name on it just does not work.
I found it in a vault.
I found this pristine underwear in a vault.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Evolve your costume over time. Like you don't have to come with the A+ costume your first year. Come with something basic and just add things. And there's a lot of bartering that happens at Wasteland and a lot of like collecting of little things.
It'll happen kind of naturally.
Yeah.
As it should.
Yeah, you'll acquire new pieces. If it's your first time, chances are people are going to gift you things to add to your costume, whether that's like jewelry or patches or, people are very generous. And there's a lot of great opportunities to evolve your costume at the event.
Absolutely. And just like Winks, you said earlier, you're there working on your costume during your downtime there, which is actually really kind of a fun thing to do. Yeah. But yeah, you can take a lot of the stuff that you collect at Wasteland and over the next, 11 months, throw a few pieces onto your costume. You can take those bottle caps, punch a hole in them, and just sew them right on.
Or keep everything in a box and don't use it like I do.
Yeah. I've got a box.
Who does that?
A box-bag-messenger bag for every
full
year,
of
basically.
Stuff. Yeah. I'm so bad.
That I'm totally going to use someday.
I pick things up off the street and I'm like, this could be something cool. And then I never use it. So
it's got a marinade in the stash. It's like fabric. It's got a marinade.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's actually a really good point. Viewing your workshop at your place is kind of fun because you literally have boxes of like small little
I have a toolbox just with a bunch of organized different pieces of stuff.
Yeah. So when you're like, oh man, I really wish I had a cool button to put here. And like,
It's like, what I have.
Yeah, it's kind of like the meme of like the dad that's just been saving like a piece of wood in his garage for years, and
just
it's like,
in case.
just in case, and then the piece of furniture like needs that for
It's a
broken
good
foot or
piece of
whatever.
wood.
Yeah, it's a good piece of wood. You can't get rid of it.
Your dad is showing.
Let's see. Get pictures.
Yes.
All of us. Every single one of us.
This is my 8th year, 2025, and recently I did a photo shoot, and I had never really gotten a lot of pictures of my costume, and not only did it make me feel really proud of how far I've come as far as costumes, it also like it's seeing your costume from a different angle that you're not seeing when you're just looking in a mirror. And I had never really thought about that before, but when you're getting a picture taken from someone else's point of view, I feel like it really, really helps you see where on your costume you could add some stuff, what needs improvement, what works well. It was just like seeing it from a whole different angle, which was really, really helpful, I found, with my process.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also just looking how badass we all look. And,
Yeah.
and like
Sharing
saving it.
pictures and being like, look at this cool thing
Well,
I
and
did.
seeing it in
Yeah.
the environment that it was designed for. It's
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm in this giant desert wasteland town with my outfit on, that's appropriate for the theme.
Feels good.
Yeah.
Everybody come see how good I look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
And-
that from? I don't remember what that's from. That's from Anchorman.
Anchorman.
Yeah. I should know better. I should know
funny.
myself better than this.
And, coming from having worked on the media team for years, every year after Wasteland, I see so many comments that are like, I never show up in pictures, I never show up in video. That's going to happen sometimes, especially if you don't leave camp like certain people do. But we all have a great camera right in our pockets.
Also, don't be afraid to ask people
Yeah.
to take your photo.
Right.
There's,
Don't go home with no photos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even just like a tribe mate or a neighbor, just be like, hey, would you take pictures of
Yeah.
me?
And do it for
Like,
each other. Mm-hmm. I'll take some of you. You take some of me.
Do a little photo shoot with your friends.
Yeah.
Y'all are paying to go to this event. Like, go home with some pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. And then kind of my last little note here is don't gatekeep. And, even though we've complained about a few
jokingly.
things. Yeah.
I do it with
But
love.
honestly, like
Love in our hearts.
like for those of us that have been at it for a little while, it's easy to get a little jaded and, kind of like blame our first years, but they're just trying.
Trying their best.
Yeah.
Them kids.
I
Yeah.
looked like shit at one point as well.
Oh man, I've looked like shit every year, especially by Saturday when I'm just like down to almost like my most basic
Like, I
of
give
basics. Yeah, a few days in 95-degree heat will get to you, and you'll be like, I don't need to wear much at all. But yeah,
Naked's not a costume, makeshift.
That's true. No costume is no costume.
That
immersion.
is the one thing I guess I will always be salty about.
Yeah.
is the
Naked is not a costume.
naked and
Disagree.
well, dirty and naked
Dirty and naked.
or scraggly and naked. Like if you're wearing a few like really cool pieces over the naked, that's great.
If you say
I have
so.
strong
Yeah.
opinions about this. But again, Adept does not show any skin. And that's a 2 for a reason.
Right.
I never gave reason 2.0.
What is it? Tell us now.
I don't want to fucking see my own body in pictures.
So real, dude.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I have
Do
weird,
I really look like that?
I have weird knees. We're not showing them off.
It's no one's business.
I got weird ass knees.
Weird knees.
I have weird knees.
She doesn't like her knees.
Come to think of it, I don't know if I've ever seen your knees.
Yeah, that's
There's a reason for that. I've gotten to the point in my life, and you older Wasteland gents will
Yep.
know.
Hold on. There's knee exposure.
Oh my
happening.
God! Look
well,
out!
it doesn't really help when I'm
Those
sitting.
are
but
normal ass knees.
Those just look
You mean
like
the little
knees.
indent?
when I got, well,
Ew,
they look like baby
gross,
faces
put that
when I'm
away.
standing.
Oh yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah.
Little
Oh
baby
yeah, your
faces.
kneecap's kind of like you have an innie kneecap.
You do
I'm
have an
hypermobile.
Yeah. Wow.
I got that hypermobile problem. Eee.
Oh my God!
Shout out any kneecaps.
Okay, sorry, love.
No, I was just going to say I was going to throw this out for the older gents that attend Wasteland out there. I've gotten to that point of my life where I see myself in photos and think, who invited that old man into my camp?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what is my dad doing at Wasteland? Oh, no.
Yeah. I've been seeing a little bit of that too.
Who's that old fat
Especially
guy?
as my hair
no.
just has grayed.
Oh.
And then I look back at pictures from 5 years ago and I was like, yeah, this is recent. This just happened.
Yeah.
It happens very suddenly.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
it does, it goes hard.
Yep. So
Can
that's
confirm.
good reason to do crazy
Take pictures
colors.
anyway, kids.
Yeah, take pictures
Take
anyway
pictures
because you look
anyway.
awesome.
Yes.
And yeah, encourage people, don't blast them if they don't do it right. Honestly, a lot of Wastelanders are really great about like, hey, your costume could use a little bit of work. Here's a fun piece that you can throw on there. Or
Yeah, people are very generous.
yeah.
They'll help you with your costume.
yeah. And there's a lot of barter tables, even outside of Bartertown. Bartertown is vendors selling things. There's a lot of barter only tables where it is barter only. So bring some things that you can trade. But honestly, the barter tables are very liberal with what they will trade for.
Cool trash, as I
Yeah.
like to say.
Yeah, cool trash. Just remember we're all baby costumers at one point.
Yes.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, we all
That's
start
right.
somewhere. And honestly, like even online, it doesn't help when someone posts up, here's the thing I'm working because I'm coming to the Wasteland for the first time ever. And then you got 200 people that are like more dirt and
That all
Yeah.
pile on.
Not-
I'm
Yeah.
just going to
Not
remind
super
everybody
helpful.
that's listening something very important that I have to remind myself, and it's not even just for Wasteland. online Wasteland is not the same as real life Wasteland.
Yeah.
A bunch of a bunch of people in Wasteland or Central don't actually go to the event. So take everything people say online with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You get to the event. If this is your first time, you get to the event, you are going to have a blast. The people
and
are
you'll notice a huge
lovely.
difference.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll notice a huge difference.
Awesome. And I can't state enough how many first years have tracked me down to like mention the show or like, you know, some help they've gotten or just say hi. And they show up with these absolutely amazing costumes. So just because it's a first year doesn't mean you can't show up and just, you know,
just
be
do a little
awesome.
work. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Just do a little work.
A little bit of work.
It ain't going to hurt you, I promise.
And here's the thing. You realize when you're there that we're all creating this atmosphere for each other.
Yes.
We're all helping each other's immersion. We're all creating a, you know, this mood, this feel that we're all just helping each other out. It wasn't until Wasteland that I realized why people, oh no, it was actually Neotropolis. I realized why Raveware is the way it is. And it's because like once those lights turn on and you get the black lights and suddenly it's like everyone's helping create that theme, that feel. That's exactly what's happening at Wasteland. We're all there for each other. You know, creating a world that we can all enjoy as if we are the hero in a video game, like Mad Max or Fallout. We're all there for each other. It's awesome.
That's true.
All right, Farlanders, thanks so much for imparting some of your wisdom.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is always my favorite topic forever. I could talk way too long.
know.
So come
And
find me at the Farlander camp. Happily talk about costume
Yeah,
stuff.
and we did talk for a long time. So those of you that stuck around, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Especially you, Gimli. Thanks, buddy.
Shout out, Gimli. Awesome. Thanks, Winks, for helping me co-host this one.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Always appreciate you listening along here at the Apocalypse Post. Make sure to subscribe wherever you're listening, like or leave a comment if you can. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend. If you hated it, which who knows? I mean, if you made it this far, you didn't hate it. But if you did hate it,
If you hate listened.
if you hate listened the whole way through, share this episode with an enemy and do it just because they're basic Wasteland bitches. We'll see you next time, survivors. Until then, stay alive.
And days and days and days and days and